All right, Kenny, you want to start off by giving us a 15-minute rant about how Kobe White and how he's better than Anthony Edwards?
15? I was thinking 20, 30, but I can limit it to 15, I guess.
Yeah, contain yourself for once.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
Crayon eaters rejoice.
Welcome back to the show, Kenny. Third time you've been on. Appreciate you coming back on.
Of course.
As you guys see by the title, we are going to talk about the NBA stars that have the most to prove, under the most pressure. You know, the guys that got to win a championship for narrative reasons, team success reasons, whatever it may be. But first, we obviously got to talk about the NBA play-in tournament. Up to now, we're recording this on Thursday night. There's been 4 games played, one of which, like I just said, featured the Chicago Bulls beating the shit out of Mo's Atlanta Hawks, and specifically Kobe White going absolutely berserk. Let me hear your thoughts.
This is I try not to be hyperbolic and try not to exaggerate, but this is the greatest performance in NBA history. Easily. A 1-on-4 fast break, didn't matter, spin move, layup, get into the basket at will. I had turned this season off basically as a Bulls fan. I'm right back here. No Jimmy Butler, we here. I've seen an 8 seed go to the NBA Finals before. Baby, we here. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm being honest, though, that was the best significant performance in the last 10 years for the Bulls. We talk about like playoff situation type thing. Like that was the best one since Mike Dunleavy dropped 30 against the Washington Wizards 10 years ago. Like that's how down bad we've been, that this game that the stats are getting lost and nobody cares about was the best performance of the last 10 years. And as a guy that never sold his Kobe White stock, this was my day to talk shit on Twitter, in the group chats of people that gave up on Kobe White. And it feels good. It feels good. Even though, again, even if we beat Miami, we're losing in 4 to the Boston Celtics. I'm kind of here for it.
And Mo, as a Trae Young fan, how did it feel to watch Kobe White give him back shots?
Okay, that was the craziest way to transition to me, but listen. I'm happy that some NBA fan could feel joy, even if it's for like 2 weeks or so. Congratulations. I'm also happy that my pain, misery, and all that could come to an end. I'm sick, sad to my stomach that I had to come to an end in that way. But now I can focus on better and bigger things in life, other than watching Hawks basketball.
Donovan, how'd you feel?
Listen, Mo gave me this pillow for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Listen, I'm a hater to my core. I loved seeing the Hawks get blown out. It was amazing. It was the best thing because I had to hear it for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I don't care what you guys said. You guys try to gaslight me into thinking that the Hawks were going to be better than the Knicks. That's the
How many times are you going to bring this up?
Only investment. That's the only investment I had in last night's game. Because like Kenny said, whoever plays the Celtics, like, look, to be honest, the Celtics might give up one game, right? They've been known to do that from time to time. So I think it actually might be a 5-game series. But I did not care. I was just happy seeing the Hawks win.
Yeah, I was obviously very impressed by Kobe White. Was looking like the shiftiest player in the world, the best player on the court against 2 former All-Star guards. It was incredible. But also just like having Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, and Caruso all on the court at the same time, I was like, this is so interesting. And I would love to watch this trio of young-ish guards, for kind of Caruso, play together and dominate on the perimeter. They completely punked Trae Young, made his life hell. Would be amazing to watch if they weren't the Chicago Bulls and they weren't playing alongside the mid-3. I would love them in any other circumstance.
Now,
Yeah, no, that's a fact. The good thing is the Bulls signed Kobe White to 3 years, $31 million. They signed Ayo Dosunmu to 3 years, $21 million. So we got two of the better contracts in basketball, and expiring, and DeMar DeRozan. Who knows what's gonna happen there? We did already extend Vooch, so he's probably gonna be here because he's got no value. And then Zach LaVine is already 1 foot out of the door. So I'm invested in our backcourt right now. They're both 23 and younger. The future could be bright depending on what happens with DeMar this offseason.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's cool. It's cool. It's great for today.
This is what Hawks basketball does to people, bro. You put the Hawks on the court against anybody. You, Kenny Beecham, can drop a cool 12 points, maybe on 6-4, maybe 2 for 6, 5 for 8 shooting, whatever it is, you yourself can go ahead and score against us, bro. Now, not to discredit Kobe White. He should be MIP. He's like top 2, worst case scenario 3 in those conversations, if you ask me. But yeah, like, of course, cool group of players, a group of players that a lot of teams would be super happy to have a part of their core that's like building and trying to find somewhat a direction. But, like, for the Hawks, this is just like routine.
I was going to say.
You make everybody look good, bro. Like, this is just what the season has been, not only like over the past year, but over the past like few years. We don't do anything. We don't have no damn defense. We don't have no backbone. Anybody can just run through us and we ain't gonna do a goddamn thing about it. It's just straight pain. But I'm happy someone was able to be happy.
Do
Just
you
not
think
me.
over the last 5 years, which one of us, Hawks fans, Bulls fans, have had it worse? Last 5-10 years. Let's stretch it to 10 years.
10 years. So we did have that 2016-2015 Hawks team. 2015 Hawks team.
You had 21.
We were called.
But the Bulls have 3 months of Lonzo Ball.
That team existed, but were you happy?
DeMar Carroll, let's go.
Like, they won a bunch of games, but like that was the least marketable 1 seed in the history of basketball. Like, the most boring in a good way. Like, I mean, wins are wins, but like, are you
in a good way?
8 years ago, were you sitting at the TV like, let's go Jeff Teague, DeMar Carroll, and was Tavo Cephalosha on that team? I feel like he was on that team.
Yeah,
maybe.
Cephalosha was a part of those teams as well. That was me like 3-4 years into my basketball fandom, and I don't know what it is about me, but I can smell fake from like a mile away. And I was just appreciative of the moment. Was I happy? Yeah, because we're getting publicity, or we were one of the like final 4 teams in the left in the NBA by the time June and May came around. But, like, did I have any real expectations? No. Was I happy? Yeah, because it's like my team is up there. Is it fake? Maybe. But who
cares? Is that the month where everybody was player of the month for y'all? Like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That participation as award. That's crazy looking back. Do you think they'd ever do that again? Is that even possible?
Never.
No way.
No.
No way.
They never do.
Never.
There's enough good players in the league to where you don't have to give it to one starting lineup. Like, unless they didn't even do that for like the Warriors. Like you could have done that in 2017 and been like, all right, guys, like here you go. You guys have been amazing this month, but no, that's never gonna happen.
We joke a lot about the Miami Heat having the power of friendship. That was the ultimate power of friendship.
That's
and
over. That's over.
Acknowledged it. We'll get there.
There's only been a few times in history where they gave the award to more than one player. The other times was Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan in 2016. I don't know what the hell they did that month.
Buddies.
And then the month before that, you saw Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook get it. So they definitely buddy this thing.
It's literally just friendship. Like, if you guys are friends, if you guys do press conferences together, you can be, player of the week, player of the month. That's all it takes.
It's crazy.
To answer
Honestly,
your question, Kenny,
we could pile on.
Your life is harder, has been harder for the last 10 years, for sure, as a Bulls fan. I will say that.
Okay, I'll take that. I wear it like a badge of honor. Like, they weren't with us.
Yeah.
Eventually, when I'm like 46 and the Bulls are not the 6, 7, 8 seed, but one of the top 4, I would be like, remember in 2018 when we won 22 games? Like, y'all weren't here for that. Y'all weren't here to watch Chris Dunn.
Was that the Shaquille Harrison era?
Yes. Chris Dunn and Shaq Harrison combining for 30% from 3 and taking all the shots, and me being optimistic about Chris Dunn's future. Y'all weren't here for that. You just weren't here.
Tough. I love that we caught you on the exact day, the one day in the last 6 months that the Bulls are interesting. It's so perfect. Like, it wasn't planned that way at all. It was destiny.
Soak it in. You're not going to be able to talk like this for the next 12 months.
Facts. We could pile on for the next 10 minutes and talk about how the Hawks are doomed, how the DeJounte Murray trade was a disaster, how Trae Young's going to play with Victor Wembanyama next year, all this stuff. We could just make Mo's life terrible for the next 2 hours. But I think we've talked about that enough. We're going to talk about it plenty once the season ends. I want to talk about the other thing that made Mo's life terrible. The Warriors have been blown out. They have been destroyed by the Sacramento Kings. Your Lord and Savior, Mo, TJD, was a non-factor. You put all your eggs into the Golden State Warriors basket. We did a Power Rankings episode last week, and you ranked them as a top 10 team while you had the Knicks at 15. And then they got decimated by the mediocre-ass Sacramento Kings. Tell me how you feel.
TJD is a rookie. I mean, would you expect him to play like, like the Warriors? There's so many things going against them. Like they just weren't prepared. Keon Ellis was out here. I spoke about Keon Ellis plenty of times before. I said he's not a big name, but if there's one thing about him, he's a fucking impact player, and players like him matter. He came out. I would have never guessed that he would have like outperformed Klay Thompson on both ends of the court by far. So, as for, how the Warriors played, I can't be too upset. Yes, I did rank them a top 10 team. Towards the end of the season, they quite literally were that. I'm just statistically speaking, and also how they were playing on the court as well. They were just clicking, Klay Thompson was playing a hell of a lot better. If I would have saw him play, like if I knew he was going to shoot 0 for 10 in a playing game, then of course, I wouldn't have had him that high, but it was just one of those Klay Thompson moments. But
I understand.
What matters most is that the Warriors lost, and this is great for the 15-year-old me. I literally poured out some goddamn Ciroc and champagne when I saw them boys lose, because this put an official end to the terror.
Yeah, exactly.
That they put across all of our lives.
I made this a you thing for some reason. We need to make this a Donovan thing, because this is your Lord and Savior, Stephen Curry. It's cooked. The dynasty's over. How are you feeling about this?
Listen, I was not happy. I was not happy. We were talking about the power of friendship. If I was Steph, I would never pick up another Klay Thompson phone call again. For 2 years, when it is time for you to show up, you have not shown up. And he has been surrounded by bricklayers and aggressive delinquents for the last 2 years, and they've ruined the last chance that he has to actually like compete for a championship. And you've seen the moments this year where you're like, oh dang, like Steph might kind of be slipping. Like he's not shooting the same way that he was a year ago, 2 years ago when they won the title. And he's in that LeBron phase where you want to capitalize and you want to maximize every single option. And they are running lineups where literally Warriors fans were in Twitter spaces saying if TJD got more minutes, we could have done something. Right? Like that is how down bad they were, and it was awful. Over 10 in a winner go home game is crazy. Oh, like it's one thing to be outplayed by Keon Ellis. It's another thing to not get on the board at all. And no, man, I have no idea. Like I've been thinking for the last couple of days how the Warriors gonna, save Steph. I don't know. Like he might have to leave. If he wants to compete, he might have to leave because I don't know what they can do to fix this situation.
Kenny, how you feeling about this? I'm sure you put lots of thought into this dynasty being over. First off, were you pro Warriors throughout the reign of terror?
No. You had to be crazy to be pro Warriors.
He was just like us.
Yeah. I tried my hardest to appreciate the basketball because it was so elite, but I also was a hater when they were doing their things. I had a similar arc with LeBron James where he was dominating the Eastern Conference. I hated him until we got back to Cleveland the second time, and then I started to become a fan. I kind of did the same thing with Steph Curry over the last couple of years where they just dominated the league for so long, and then Kevin Durant came along. It's like, this is a juggernaut team, and I want to see them lose. But the other night, I think the best thing about it is what I think it was Donovan just mentioned it. That spaces of Nick Wright fighting Warrior, not even fighting because he wasn't raising his voice. He seemed like he was tired and everything, but he was bodying the entire fan base. The one clip, because I was there for it live, and this was the moment I had to tune out. When they asked him how many games he watched, he said 14.
Yes,
14 or so, and then 40 on League Pass when we was flipping through. And they asked, don't you think our opinion is worth more because we've watched all 82? He said, that's valid. But with the same logic, shouldn't you say the same thing about the front office and the coaching staff? And they looked they just said no. And I was like,
they laughed. They were like, hell nah. They didn't even say no. They were like, fuck no.
They're too far off. They're too far off the deep end. And I don't know what happens, man. I don't know what happens. I had always been critical of Steph Curry, especially over these last couple of years, because he's one of the few superstars that refuse to put pressure on his front office, especially with all the stuff, Draymond punching people and stomping on people's chests and kicking people in the nuts over the last decade. There's never been a time where Steph Curry was like, well, I need a little bit more help. He just let the power of friendship basically have these last 2 years of him being great just not matter. But after that game, he was asked about Klay Thompson and Draymond. He said, I just want to win. And that is enough pressure. That is the most pressure we've ever seen Steph Curry put on the front office. And they have to do something. Klay Thompson might be going to China, according to that tweet, or the Orlando Magic or something. I don't know. But they need some help. Because
Same thing. Orlando, Guangdong. What's the difference?
It's crazy.
I've been to Orlando. It's not great.
I also picked the Warriors to win that game, though. I thought they were playing great basketball leading into that one. The Kings didn't have Kevin Huerter or Malik Monk, so I'm like, yeah, they don't have the firepower. And Keegan Murray looked like what Klay Thompson used to look like, and it was over with from the very beginning.
Yeah, we all picked them as well. We were all wrong. And of course, immediately after the game ended, people rushed to the comments of our last stream and we're like, ha, now this part's cringe. They love letting us hear about it when we're wrong. So, we got to do, everyone got to take that to the face. It is what it is. Hey, yo, my bad. But I think the reason that we saw the Warriors lose was like so predictable. I think Mo especially and me, halfway through the season, I was like, I think the Warriors might be good now. They put Draymond at center. Everything's coming together now. Kevon Looney isn't starting. We're seeing the offense and defense both pick up. Everything changes in a playoff setting, as we know, when you can really game plan for them. And the lack of shot making around Steph Curry has made his life hell all year. It makes Steph Curry look like he's taking a step back, like he's cooked, like he's not even a top 10 player anymore. People on Twitter were like, the days of him being the best player on a championship team, they're done. He needs to go be a second option somewhere. Dramatic as hell. This team made his life so difficult with the system they ran. It works to perfection, and it has for a decade, but only when you have the requisite shot making around you. We saw it in 22 when you have Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins being legit go-to shot makers who can do stuff for you. Those guys, those skill sets are gone. In comes geriatric Chris Paul. In comes a couple young players that can do their best. But without those release valves around him, he just can't be 2021 Steph anymore, putting the team on his shoulders, going insane every night. It's too much to ask of him.
Yeah, I mean, they made Wiggins turn into a playmaker. Like, that was part of the plan from Mike Brown on the short roll, make Wiggins make the decision. Me and his basketball IQ basically the same thing, and he's been in the NBA, so like he couldn't make that extra pass, he couldn't do nothing. And that was I agree with you 100%. And they just have a bunch of young players that look really solid. Jonathan Kuminga, they were completely okay with letting Kuminga be the shot maker. What he shoots 6 for 15 or something like that.
He tried. He was getting them buckets up. He tried.
But at the end of the day, if your supposed second or third best player don't show up on the offense side of the ball, it makes it so much easier to stop a Steph Curry-led team.
Mm-hmm. Tragic, man. Tragic.
This sucks. This sucks. We're really gonna see the end of Steph's prime just wasted, and I hate this. I really do, because there's not like it's very rare. And I'm very curious to see how like the new age of superstars do it. But we've seen this like older guard still be able to like get buckets and like hoop at a very, very high level towards the end of their career. So like KD is like 30, 36, 37. He still can average 27 in his sleep. And he has, even as for all the faults that the Suns have, he still has Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, alongside him. Like it's crazy to see what other stars around the league have. Kawhi is aging. Paul George is also aging. They have each other. Like, I want to see if Steph Curry can get to a situation where he can have one other guy that's in the top 25, top 30 in the league.
That's the interesting part, because I don't know if that's even possible with their current roster constraints. Like, how does that even happen with the Warriors?
What if you guys were the Warriors GM for a week, 2 weeks? What would you guys do to move on from the situation right now?
I'd do what Bob Myers did, and I'd quit. I'd quit before it was my time to make a decision. There's nothing you can do. Like, they don't have any draft picks this year. The main people that they have, like in terms of name value, is Draymond, who's aging, who you need to keep around. Is Klay Thompson, who's shooting 0 for 10. Like, it's Chris Paul that's on an expiring contract at 38. Like, there's not a lot of value or flexibility that you have. So I don't know. Like, you're gonna have to hit some crazy like minimums. You're gonna have to hope that some guys that you pick up for $1 million, $2 million just come out and start hooping like crazy.
The under talked about thing. Oh, go ahead, Isaac.
The good thing is Klay Thompson's gonna be very cheap now. He's not gonna be commanding anywhere near he was before. So they'll probably keep him around, but it won't be on like a significant money that hurts you team building wise. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what the biggest thing they could do is, because Andrew Wiggins would be a possible trade piece. He's going to have to be a salary dump at this point. No one's giving up anything of value for him. Same thing with Chris Paul. Only real thing you can do is trade Moody and Kuminga, which on one hand, that's your young piece that can give you a potential ceiling and take a big jump. or it's the piece that can get you something short term to make you decent with Steph Curry. Like either way, it's a losing hand.
Yeah, the under talked about thing about the amount of parity in the play-in tournament is that teams aren't necessarily selling as much as they used to. Exactly. So like the things that you might be interested in trading a Kuminga or Moses Moody, it's like, okay, we have these two valuable young pieces, but if no team is parting ways with their star players or secondary players, then we're just kind of stuck with it. The only person we can really offer is like, do they want to lightly use Zach LaVine? Exactly.
Lightly is very generous.
He won a dunk contest back in the day, a few of them. You know, that's on the resume.
That's almost 10 years ago.
It was. Hoverboards were still huge. He did a hoverboard dunk. That was enough. But like the Trailblazers got nothing, the Spurs got nothing. The Grizzlies are gonna try to compete again next year. Larry Market and the Jazz are probably gonna sign an extension. So it's like, what star players are available? You gonna call for Mikal Bridges? They were asking for 4.5 first-round picks plus young players. So it's like we just gotta run it back and hope something works this time around. And I don't think that's likely.
Damn.
The real answer is they should have went hard for Pascal Siakam. That was the one piece I think made sense. That could have been a short and long-term play that could have really like facilitated the next generation. Now that he's off the board, OG's probably off the board. You know, they pursued him last year before he actually got traded. Obviously, there's always surprise people that could become available, and there is something that'll be done, but nothing that will make them a true contender again. I think we can all say that's dead. And everyone always says dynasties, they never go out in like a good fashion. It always is over, and you just realize that yesterday it wasn't, today it is. That's what we're looking at with them. It's just done, and I think they're kind of just riding out the days until Steph Curry either retires or decides to move on. It's kind of at that point now where they're going to be like end stage Dirk, where they're just mid around him, but he's a legend, so he's there.
Yeah. The only like sell, like if I'm a Warriors fan, I have like a little bit of optimism because damn, we almost won 50 games and we missed out on like 15 to 20 games of Draymond Green due to non-basketball reasons. That has to be somewhat encouraging. Yes, like you miss out on guys like a Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby. But then there's like someone like Mikal Bridges who's up to absolutely nothing in Brooklyn. Maybe a trade, something can be made there. Random stars pop up all the time. And if you're a Warriors fan, you know, as much as I said, like you have to have optimism, at the same time, you have to look at the other side of the coin. You might be cooked because you only have a certain amount of like time to strike iron when it's hot, you know, and right now I don't know how hot it is considering how good every single team in the league is, especially in the Western Conference.
For sure.
So they're cooked.
Yeah, man, they're cooked. It's over. It's fine. We can move on to the more interesting team in the state of California. The Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Pelicans. Tell me who's going to win the Nuggets versus Lakers series, and why is it the Lakers in 7?
You've done it.
Let me hear it.
You've guys lit yourself to believe in that. You told me last week that you were like on the verge of it, and I've seen as time has passed. You've done it. Good job.
I will say Nuggets in 6. It's not going to be a sweep again. I said that on Twitter, and people were like, "You're so generous. It's your Lakers fandom showing." For one, I'm saying they're going to certainly lose. I don't know how much fandom that is, but I think it'll be a respectable loss. I think they'll get 1 or 2 games off them.
Yeah, I think Nuggets in 6 is fair. The most competitive sweep in the history of basketball last year in the conference finals, right? So they might be able to turn it a little bit, I guess. But you know what, Isaac? I'm optimistic about the Lakers too. I'm optimistic.
Tell me more.
It's based in nothing though. It's really I don't
Let's
have
spread the delusion.
strictly off the vibes of this Lakers team right now.
I love that. I love basing shit on nothing. Let's go.
I'm optimistic that they might be able to force a seventh game. Woo! You know, successful
good
season.
loss. Let's go.
Yeah, successful season. You get to 7 with the defending champions. That just means you were better than last year. You just happen to run into them at the wrong time.
Step by step. Success is an overnight thing. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's
exactly.
all we can ask for.
Exactly.
Yeah, but obviously we'll talk about that series plenty in the coming weeks. How'd you guys feel about the game where Zion Williamson fulfilled the prophecy of Zion Williamson in every way you could imagine, was unstoppable going to the rim, finally was able to score on LeBron James for 2 games this season in big situations. We saw LeBron lock his ass down. Not anymore. And then he also fulfilled the prophecy by getting hurt at the last second, so none of it matters anymore.
Damn. If you're a Pelicans fan, you have to be happy that you finally like saw the light and you see a world where Zion Williamson is fully back, and if he can be healthy, this version of this dude right here, the absolute dog in him, how he looked like he had so much fire and just animosity in his eyes when he was flying up the court here and there.
You wanted
and
it.
blocking LeBron James late in the third or fourth quarter, making all these smart, witty plays and the type of athleticism that he has, this quick jumping the quick leaps that he's able to make. Like, this dude can be a top 10 player. And if you're a Pelicans fan, of course, you're sad that he went out. But let's be real. They never had a real chance to begin with.
Yeah. Donovan,
This just gives you the
Wait, what do you
blueprint to
mean?
see how it
What do you
work.
mean that they never had a real chance? Like, to do something in the playoffs, or just to like get that game?
Playoffs. Not in the
Oh,
game.
okay.
Playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
so they could have won the game. But
Yeah.
Donovan, we've had a lot of debates about this. I've obviously never sold my Zion stock. I'm probably the biggest Zion fan here. You have been the biggest doubter for many understandable reasons. What are you feeling like now, seeing the good and the bad just in one single game?
I mean, I'm kind of right. Like it's not like a long-term thing, but it sucks that like at every turn when you think that you are about to get the full Zion Williamson experience, something happens, right? And granted, this isn't one of those things where it was like before where everyone's like, he's fat, like he needs to lose 30 pounds. Like it's not like that. It's a hamstring. It happens to everybody, but sometimes things just happen to some people more often than others, right? So like but at the same time, I think that the Pelicans did get clarity. We've talked a lot about how we think that the Pels are fundamentally flawed in the way that they are built. And I think that if you are New Orleans moving forward, I kind of think you feel good about like, hey, we can build around Zion and we will be okay. And you will tell yourself that it's, some freak accident and he had 40 points and was taking it straight to Anthony Davis's chest. You can feel good going into next season about he's going to be the centerpiece, right? We gave him the contract. He's going to be the middle and we will adjust everything around him as needed. But I feel kind of decent about, Zion stock. I might have to buy some more, but it is kind of scary that at every single turn, it just feels like some injury thing feels like it's inevitable with Zion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kenny, I got a question for you.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Long term, like Donovan said, we all kind of feel that they are fundamentally broken, that Jonas is a bad fit there, that him and Brandon Ingram can coexist and have been better on the court together this year than when Ingram's not there, but not the best ideal long-term fit. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like they need to get rid of Ingram, get rid of Jonas? What do you think is the next step for them? Because assuming they lose this game without Zion.
I think that's the most unfortunate part about all of this. Obviously, I want to see Zion play real playoff minutes, but a playoff scenario, we haven't seen all these guys play together. Like Zion has 0 playoff minutes. The last time they made the playoffs, Brandon Ingram took over, but there was no Z. And I always try to look at the playoffs, especially for a team like this that have so many pieces, but none of them are interlocking. It's like this is the time to try to figure out who's the guys that we're keeping around, and we won't be able to do that necessarily. With the 3 guys on the court, I just looked it up here, in the 740 minutes, they have a negative 2.35 net rating. Majority of good teams, because we're talking about a 50-win team practically. If we're
Tough.
a 50-win team and our 3 best players on the court together have a negative net rating, something is really wrong here. And I feel like Z is the one that you keep around. He made it very apparent. I'm also with you, Isaac. Even when all the Instagram shit was going on, I never sold my stock. When I was last on this show, we were doing would we trade him for? And it was like Scotty Barnes and somebody else for Zion. And I was like, no, because if Zion just gets in shape and do this and do that, we can see that he can be a top 10 player. And I remember that TikTok got a lot of comments because Scotty Barnes is good now. But I don't know what they potentially could do. With Trey Murphy III being as good as he is and what he could be, it feels like a Brandon Ingram trade might be inevitable because you have to open up minutes for the dude because he's so good already and only is going to get better. And the no true point guard thing, I've had like different opinions throughout the course of the season. When they started to play more point Zion, I was like, oh, it's okay that CJ McCollum is here. And then other times it's like, I wish they did have somebody that can set the table and make it easier for Z or make it easier for Brandon, because those 2 guys, or at least Z, when he gets the ball, it's like, I'm going to the basket. And then when Brandon Ingram, it's like, get out of my way, let me cook for 12 seconds. And it's no like fluidity in a lot of cases. So
100%.
We'll see.
That's like my biggest pet peeve and like general basketball rule is I fucking hate watching teams that have no passers. It just like grinds my gears. That's why I've never loved the Celtics over this regime of Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Why I've had issues with whatever team you want to name it, the Clippers before they got James Harden. Having your big wings be your lead playmakers is cool in theory until you realize your main option is people whose biggest strengths aren't passing, them having to pass. You're so much more dangerous when that can be a secondary option and they can have a good mix of being set up and setting up for others. You're just way more dynamic. There's way less situations like what we saw last night, switching games real quick, with the Heat and 76ers, where the zone in the first half completely just befuddled the 76ers because they had a lineup full of 0 good passers out there. That type of stuff won't happen if you have a true point guard next to Zion Williamson, whoever they may be. And it's not even necessarily just a true point guard, it's just more capable passers. And when you have Herb Jones and Trey Murphy next to him, those are great players, not passers. Ingram's a better passer, shouldn't be the best passer on your team. We know CJ's fine in that regard, but like just in totality, your average passing level needs to be high with your starting lineup.
Yeah. These are the hard conversations that the Pelicans will have to figure out how to answer over the course of the next 3-4 months. Ingram is easy to X out because of, not only like the on the court questions that you guys alluded to, but also his contract ends I think he's a free agent after next season. So if he decides to leave or whatever, just in general, it's always smart to test the waters in general to see what type of value you could get for him. And if you get pieces that could complement Zion and whoever else you decide to build around, that's a smart move to make. And also, CJ McCollum, he was playing as if he was like on real Jonte Porter type timing, shooting 4 for 15. There's no other reason to explain that. Like you have to have some money on under the table, bro. He was playing. He looked like a different player. He was hurting him so bad to the point to where he was unplayable in the late stretches.
That's so
and
good.
if I see that, if it's hard to talk about it because like at the same time, he's a sniper. He shot like 41% from 3 throughout the entire course of the season on 8 attempts. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you don't set the table for me like Isaac said. And also you're getting paid a huge bag just to not be the perfect fit. And it's not worth it when you have such a small timetable with a talent like Zion because you don't know how long he's going to last.
Mo, how would you feel about trading one of your point guards for Brandon Ingram?
If I'm the Pelicans, wait, which one?
Give me the Hawks fan in you first.
The Hawks fan in me, I would give you DeJounte Murray for sure.
I'm sure you would. Let's do Trey. Let's be realistic. Let's do Trey. Let's be serious.
Be realistic. Be serious. Now, you have so many picks on that team. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to talking about the Pelicans' future. They have picks on picks on picks still. All their own picks. And then they still have picks left from the Drew Holiday trade and also the Anthony Davis trade. Still fucking loaded. And there's a big-ass move to be made. And if they want to do it, sure. Give me all your picks. Along with all your picks, go ahead and give me all the fucking free smoothies in the world, Smoothie King Arena. I need it. And then on top of that, sure, I'll take like a Brandon Ingram. We tried to go ahead and swindle Herb Jones. I don't know how the fuck those conversations even started, but give me all assets possible. I would entertain it as long as the assets were there and it made sense because the Atlanta Hawks don't have any picks of their own outside of this year until the year 2028, bro. And that's very, very bleak. So I'd entertain it for sure.
Okay.
They're so interesting because like they're very good and have a good baseline with all the talent they have, so much length, so much shooting around Zion that like they're going to be a decent team like we saw this year. But if you want to be a great team, you're going to have to make something change. And most teams, especially in a small market, aren't necessarily trying to run away from just being good. That's not necessarily a bad outcome for them. It's a tough place to be.
Yeah, it is tough, bro. It is tough.
Let's talk about another team that has to make some changes, most likely. Or maybe. Well, actually, maybe not even make that assumption. I want to hear what you guys think. The Philadelphia 76ers defeated the Miami Heat last night in a very interesting game because in the first half, it looked like the Heat power friendship, Voodoo Magic, was back and better than ever. They ran out a zone defense against the Philadelphia 76ers and had them looking like third graders. None of them knew what to do against it. Looked like they'd never broken a zone defense a day in their fucking lives. They were down horrendous. It looked like we were getting a vintage Joel Embiid shitter performance. Then second half, Nick Nurse made some adjustments. They were like, why are we trying to do the same thing every single time? Let's run fast and actually get some easy buckets. Jimmy got hurt, so we slowed down the second half. All these things happened that the 76ers ended up inching out the win. How did this game leave you guys feeling about both teams? Because there's definitely a lot of interesting thoughts on both sides here.
Now, you forgot to mention the most valuable player in the entire game, baby, Nicholas Batum.
I forgot. Woo! Yes, and the free chicken changed the game. It's crazy.
It really did. It really did. Like the crowd was very quiet. they were told that they got some free chicken, and they're like, okay, it's time to turn up. Like it's time. We came here for what we got, what we came here for. Now let's get this win. And I think from Miami, I mean, obviously, like Jimmy gets hurt, and that kind of changes everything. Hero had a like shooting wise was very, very like iffy, right? He made some big shots, but he was also iffy. The thing that has been plaguing Miami a lot hurt them also down the stretch, which is who's going to make shots? Like, who's going to create shots, right? Like, down the stretch. And that's why you went and got, Terry Rozier. You thought he was going to be a shot creator. He wasn't there last night. Like, you didn't have anybody who can help play off Jimmy or help Jimmy ease into that. And now you just looking around and it's like, yo, this offense sucks. It is so, like, the half-court offense is so slow. It's so in the mud. If they are going to do anything this offseason, they need to try and take whatever, voodoo magic, Pat Riley, cachet, all of it. See if you can go get Donovan Mitchell if the Cavs flame out. Like, you just need another scoring punch, because as good as Hero was, really at the end of the game making shots, as good as you think Jimmy Butler can elevate in the playoffs, we've seen it's a lot of pressure to put on him, and even for himself to say, hey, once the calendar turns April, I need you to go from averaging 21 points a game to averaging 32. And I need you to flip that switch and really put the team on our back. And it's just impossible. And so Jimmy is hurt. They're probably going to lose to the Bulls. And I hope that that's the wake-up call for them, because I felt like after last year, them not making a run at Dame was kind of, arrogant, because they felt like they could just turn it on and off whenever they wanted. I hope now they can look at their team in the offseason and say, no, we need something more. We need another punch. So, I don't feel bad for them.
Kenny, tell me about Nick Batum.
Nick Batum is one of, like, no bull, and this is crazy. He is one of my favorite players of all time. And I'm being 100%
crazy.
I respect it.
How did it start?
Human history.
When did you know you were a Nick Batum superfan?
Late Portland. Now, I'll be honest with you. Once he got that bag to Charlotte, my fandom kind of went away because he was ass. But after that, and he started to get back in, he ended up with the Clippers. And I think the thing that I love the most about him right now is the no dip threes. I can't stop talking about it. I don't think he hit. I think he hit one last night, maybe, but it wasn't a huge part of his game. But I love players that can contribute when the team feels like they need some extra oomph. Nicholas Batum averages 2 points per game this season, y'all. He had 20 last night.
He's him.
Like, we saw this. We saw him do not something that is extreme from 2 points to 20 points, but in one of the runs with the Portland Trailblazers, he had a game very similar to this on a higher higher points. But there is a big discrepancy between his averages and this one specific game where they really, really needed him. And he's 35, 36 years old now, so he don't move the same defensively. But like when he was in his prime, like he got all over the place. Like you saw a little bit of it yesterday when he caused the backcourt violation against Tyler Hero. And then when Tyler Hero took that stupid ass shot with 28 seconds left, Nicholas Batum blocked it. Like that's Nicholas Batum. And it's just so cool to see some of his passing stuff. The French players come in with a little extra oomph on their passes. He's just everything I could imagine in a role player. It's just unfortunate that they're getting a 35-year-old version of him and not the 28-year-old version of him. Yeah. But to get to the Miami Heat. That offense was some of the worst I have ever seen in a high leverage game. Facts. Like this, the defense was crazy, right? They made the 76ers turn the ball over so many times. They look like me and my homies freshman year of high school playing against the best defensive team in the country. They could not make a pass. And Kevin Love is fronting Joel Embiid, and it feels like Joel Embiid don't even care that he's in the middle of a basketball game in this moment in time. And then I thought that was enough. Like Philly fans are booing. They booed 2 different times in this game. If you would have told me that Joel Embiid was going to have
for them to boo.
That is
insane
true,
people.
Too. That is true. But if you would have told me Joel Embiid would have had an all-time stinker until the last 3 minutes, that the fans would be booing, and they'd win the basketball game, like I would have told you were crazy. And that's how bad the Miami Heat offense is, where Jimmy was basically, I know he was in a huddle like, Tyler, you got to take us home. And it ended up Tyler taking 100 heavily contested off the bounce jump shots. And that is the guy that if you ask if they're going to make the team better, that's the focal point of the trade. If I'm trading away Donovan Mitchell, I don't give a damn about Tyler Hero. I just don't. And I feel like most teams are going to feel that exact same way if he gets put in trade markets again.
I'd be so fucking mad if I was a Cavs fan and next year I'm watching Tyler Hero wear Donovan Mitchell's jersey. I'd be irate. I'd be so pissed.
He has to wear 45 if he gets traded there too.
Just to rub it in. Yeah. Make his ass for 54. Give him that ugly ass number.
Oh, 54 girls.
I like how you mentioned Joel Embiid was having a stinker until the last 3 minutes. I was very impressed with, listen, he was having a stinker. No, he made it very clear to all of us he was tired. Every single time on the court, hands on the knees. He was letting us know, I'm tired, I'm not in good condition. And that's no surprise because he looked decent over the last 8 games. But when you have the Miami Heat ridiculously active zone defense, he has to work a lot harder than he did before. Yeah. That was exhausting team down. He had Buddy Hield having an aneurysm trying to throw a freaking pass name in the post. He was squiggling around. I can see why he got tired. But the way he was able to use his playmaking for the last 3 minutes and really turn it on when it was necessary to make that comeback, that impressed me. You don't really see that from Joel Embiid too often before this year, where he can be effective when his shot isn't falling, when he's not being an effective scorer at all. So that's at least a good sign.
Mm-hmm. The pass to Kelly Oubre down low was one of the best passes of his career.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that right there is like the extra wrinkle of that's like the Nick Nurse effect in my mind. That's passes like that, plays like that, and just like basketball philosophies fed into the mind of Joel Embiid over the course of the entire season. That's the type of play that he hasn't made. Well, he's obviously made plays like that throughout his life or whatever, but in moments like that specifically, that's the work of Nick Nurse, and I see the fruits of his labor finally paying off. And I predicted that this is the first time in Joel Embiid's career, like I think we're going to see a run. Now, like, of course, he looked like the regular Joel Embiid that we normally see in the playoffs. Not that great, but having an extra layer of your game, that element of surprise, dishing it to Kelly Oubre like that, while you also have like another 3-point threat on the left side of the arc, that's a very special play, and that just gives you... It's just another option offensively that he just didn't have at all, And so having that alongside the Tyrese Maxeys of the world, who's developed, of course, and Nick Batum, who's he's like the ultimate unk, in my opinion. So fucking reliable. He knows how to get the job done when necessary. The no-dip threes, like you said, Kenny, he's one of the 3-4 best players at that. Such a skill that's not valued enough by certain players. He's fantastic. I think the Philadelphia 76ers going into this series against the New York Knicks is going to be very interesting. Well, I guess we can yap about that when that time comes.
Yeah, I'm very interested to hear predictions for that. I need some more time to digest it and think about it, but that's going to be probably my favorite series of the first round. Besides Mavs, Clippers, that's obviously number one.
You talk about like Miami Heat defense, tables, ladders, and chairs type defense. Tibbs will do that to the core. It's going to be amazing.
Jokic Joestar had a tweet where he quoted Donovan's tweet where he said Joel Embiid when he just wants to play basketball, and it showed Isaiah Hardenstein and Mitchell Robinson with like pipes and bats ready to beat the shit out of him. That's what it's going to be like. Exactly. You got Tony Soprano with a freaking monkey wrench ready to knock his knees out.
I don't know if he's going to survive.
It'll be great. But yeah, man, like you said, we have a lot of time to talk about these series in the future. I think we should transition real quick to the main topic of this episode, the title of this episode. Let's look forward to the first round and talk about the star players specifically that most need to make a finals this year, to win a finals, whatever it may be. Which stars do you guys think are under the most pressure? Let you go first, Kenny.
Which stars under the most pressure? How loosely are we using the word star?
Hey, whatever you want to take it, we can take it.
James Harden.
That's a loose definition.
James Harden needs a deep playoff run. The Clippers in general, everybody outside of Kawhi Leonard needs a deep playoff run and championship. Not even a run. A run isn't like if they get to the conference finals, I'm not patting them on the back. This team has been together for 5 years. They need a championship ASAP. And with Kawhi Leonard, we not knowing exactly if he's going to play, who knows what the odds look like for that. But they're on the right side of the bracket, if you ask me, for a run. They just have to get through that first round, in my opinion. But James, obviously, I don't want to beat a dead horse. Everybody knows his woes come playoff time. They just need him, especially if Kawhi Leonard is not going to play the first game or 2 games or so. They need him to be the all-star version of himself. And he came into the playoffs having some of his worst games of the season. So hopefully he can turn it up for his own sake. I don't really give a damn whether or not he win a championship, but he does, and his fans do.
You said let it be known. I don't really care like that.
Yeah,
I'm not rooting for him. He's just not my guy.
Yeah.
Donovan, how do you feel? Do you give a damn? What's your thoughts? Do you think it's possible?
Is it possible? No. Do I give a damn? No.
Damn.
No, I don't. I don't.
We don't care.
It's like we're past the point in James Harden's career where if the Clippers made a deep playoff run, I don't think, unless he like legitimately was the driving force and he's averaging like, 30 and 9, 30 and 10, something like that, we're going to look at that run and we're going to say, oh, Kawhi's doing that or Paul George is doing that. You can go down the list of guys on that team, or I guess really just two. But there's other stars on that team before you get to James Harden.
Norm Powell.
Listen, before, we don't have to talk about it right now, but before you end up saying James Harden did this, James Harden led the Clippers here. So, I mean, we even if he has good games, the same way that he did last year in Philly, I think I said this before. He had 2 40-point games in the series against the Celtics and still averaged like 22 points per game. Like in a 7-game sample size, you had 2 40-point games and still had a kind of low average. I don't know if the ceiling's that high for James Harden. And I don't know if anybody's looking at him at this point in his career and saying, no, he still has to do it. I think the pressure's off because I don't think anybody expects him to do anything. So it's just icing on the cake if he can do it.
Yeah.
If he wins a title, I think it'll just be like Jayson Kidd on the Mavs. Nobody's going to really bring it up when talking about his career. I feel like the story's kind of written with him, sadly, as a big James Harden fan.
Yeah. It'll just be like, oh, nice. He won one. Anyways, on to the next part of the conversation. Like, that's how it would be if James Harden would win a conversation. You're absolutely right. I agree. I feel like, and the reason why, because of that, it's like, if he does win, of course, like, it'll have Kawhi Leonard written all over it. Now we're unsure about like his status. They're probably going to inject like vibranium into his knees in order for him to be like fully Kawhi Leonard that we know he can be. And if that's the case, and sure, they might have a deep run. I'm not sure how deep it could be considering who they'd have to face next and what they'd have to go through. Facing Kyrie and Luka is obviously a hell of a task. But if James Harden were to like somehow miraculously have a run, I'm not sure how much it would do for his legacy. I don't know.
Yeah. He's at the point where it's not even like those stupid ass 2021 Giannis convos where like, is he Batman? Is he Robin? We're past that with James Harden. It's like, is he Alfred? Like, we're just whatever your next lowest rung is. That's
a great analogy.
Low-key, yeah, he's definitely Alfred.
Yeah, he's a brainiac behind this shit, bro. Just making sure shit is like straight in the background.
I think I mostly say it in the sense that the entirety of James Harden's career outside of his stint in OKC, we've seen him have to play basketball his brand. And with the Clippers, this is not that. Can he evolve to the next version of himself, which might be just being a really good point guard on a championship quality team? Could we see him go into the playoffs and not have to do his traditional dribble, step back three and be successful? I think those are the biggest questions for James in his 30s. But I completely agree with what y'all saying. Yeah, I don't think they win a championship and he's the Finals MVP. Hell no. He's not getting
you're making a good point now.
But I'm just thinking about the evolution. Like, I always think about how do we talk about a player outside of their prime and how do we remember them outside of their prime? And this right now is like one of the first steps to trying to figure out how we will talk about James Harden.
You make a good point, because if this doesn't work out, and let's say flames out, he leaves the team for the 5th time in 5 years, what team does he go to after this? Like, if he can't be this third guy next to 2-star wings, what do you even view as the archetype for how James Harden can win? Is he going to be in Russell Westbrook mode where he's just like a bench guy and is really quickly falls down the rungs of the NBA atmosphere or whatever? Like, if not here, where?
Okay,
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where, but I do think that, I mean, even if they don't win here, I'm not expecting them to, but I honestly wouldn't fault them that much. They are the Clippers, they.
What do you mean by that?
They have a curse on their franchise. So I'm being 100% for real. Like, the Clippers are not a franchise to where you look at them or their history and they have 2 star wings And for some reason, you look at them in this first round matchup. I think all of us here, Kenny, I don't know where you stand, but like Isaac and Mo, we feel very, very good about the Dallas Mavericks going into this series, right? And so if the Mavs won, nobody would be shocked. So if it was the first round exit for the Clippers, it wouldn't be crazy. I do think that there are other situations where if you pair James Harden with another star wing, that could be something in the offseason, right? And it's probably not possible now, but like in the offseason, we're talking about potential James Harden trades. I was very interested in seeing what James Harden would look like alongside like an Anthony Edwards or even if it's not two-star wings, but just another one, that might be able to work. But I don't think that the Clippers are capable of putting it all together. And it might be because of forces beyond them.
Forces beyond them.
It might be something spiritual.
It's not
All right, let's cut
fault.
to brass tacks. Let's cut to brass tacks. How much pressure is Jayson Tatum under?
Oh. Now,
Does he have the most pressure out of everybody in the playoffs?
It has to be, I think. He has the best team by far, the best team of his career, probably the best team he'll ever have, honestly. It's the best team most people would ever have. Legitimately one of the 10 most dominant regular season teams you've ever seen, maybe in the history of the NBA, certainly in the last few decades, against one of the weaker Eastern Conferences we've ever seen, with the second best player in the conference, or I guess the best player, Giannis, the second best team theoretically, being bad. Third best player, or third best team, whatever, 76ers, being injured. He, not a factor. Whoever you go down the list, whoever you think is a threat, not a big threat this year. They have to win this year. If they don't, I don't even know what we can even say about them anymore. The youth will never be an excuse again. Nothing else will be an excuse.
How much more could you ask for if you're Jayson Tatum? Like, they already re-signed Drew Holiday.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Like, exactly. Like, there's nothing else that this team could realistically do. I mean, the only thing imaginable was like, oh, like we need a rebounding big off the bench or whatever. That's even like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, it's not like an Andre Drummond-esque player is not really moving needles like that for this team. So I would agree. Like, I think Jayson Tatum would be number one on my like most pressure board because it's like, this is the clear cut statistically, even in NBA history, like one of the best teams formed that we've seen in a long time. And the schematics on the court checks out. The offense, the defense checks out. Now, everything else lies on your best player and how far he could take you whenever your team does have those moments of them like looking lost, looking like they're in the slums and all that. So I would say he definitely ranks number one.
Yeah, I would
Kenny,
agree.
where do you stand?
I guess I didn't think about it too much, but you guys making amazing points because this is the best team that could be constructed for a player/team. I mean, they have 2 All-NBA defenders on their team. They have 2 All-NBA players potentially on their team. And then they have a 7'1" unicorn too. So it's like, how much more can you ask for? And goddamn Peyton Pritchard can get dropped 30 and 10 if you need him to. So it's a ton of pressure, man. But I always just think about the fact that Jayson Tatum's only 19. So if we like, there's only so much pressure that you can have on a 19-year. No, this is year number 7, I think, for Jayson Tatum, and we've seen him make it to the finals, the conference finals, 100 different times. It feels like, and this is the year. It's wide open. Not only should they win the Eastern Conference, they should win it, and every series should go no. They shouldn't see a 6-game series. That's how much better they should be than their competition.
I agree.
Yeah. It's really clear. It's just so like there's not a lot to talk about just because it like for everything that you guys have said, like it is literally now or never. You guys are about to be the most expensive, like one of the top 3 most expensive teams in the league. What more do you want? What more do you need? Like it's either you do it or you don't. And if you don't, then we'll have conversations. And unfortunately, people will look at you and be like, okay, well, I guess you just aren't who we thought you were. And that's just what it's going to be. There's not a lot of nuance here or there. It really is win or lose. It's that simple.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like anybody at the top of the West has pressure? Because like obviously Jokic is stamped, Shea's young, Ant is young. All the veterans are kind of like towards the bottom, right? Like, does KD have pressure? You know, the Suns have an immense amount of pressure given the fact they went so all in and have been so not great like you would hope they'd be. Mm-hmm. But does like KD or Devin Booker individually have pressure on them, you think?
I don't feel like I think it's a more collective thing. The organization traded everything imaginable. But I don't look at Kevin and Devin individually.
Yeah. Do you
Okay,
guys
so
think?
we have in the past, Donovan especially, me and Donovan talk about this a lot with like Kevin Durant, great player, top 15 all time, maybe top 10 if you're that type of guy. Not me, but it could be. Outside of Steph Curry, it hasn't worked, right? We saw the Nets be the biggest what-if disappointment team of the last however many decades. Again, another team with a lot of star power, hasn't quite worked. He's older, not really his fault. But do you feel like there's some pressure there to win again or at least make a deep push for Kevin Durant's all-time status to really push himself up those rankings?
I just don't be looking at the game that way, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you said, even with his current resume, he's arguable for top 10. I personally, again, wouldn't put him top 10, but you can argue top 10 with the current resume. And there's how many players have come through this association and can't even sniff top 10. So I don't really look at legacies like that too much. I don't know how he feels. Obviously, we got to find his other accounts to figure out exactly how he feels, but it's not really for me.
Yeah. It's usually not for me either, but with him, I understand it. I get a little first take coded in my brain with it when I think about that because it really is interesting that it's such a huge shift between non-Steph Curry years and Steph Curry years that like even as great as we've seen him, and granted, to be fair, 2021 he could have made it if not for some really unlucky factors, but like it very much is interesting how it's been nothing but turmoil for the last 5 years.
If it wasn't for Patrick Beverley trying to steal their ball from Russell Westbrook, they would have won that championship, and he never goes to the Warriors.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I look at KD at this point in time of his career, similar light of LeBron, is just like, bro, it's already written. I don't know if there's much else that he can do to prop up his career. But there is a team in my mind that has like an immense amount of pressure. And it's just like the team as a collective unit, not necessarily a specific player. The Cleveland Cavaliers. Do you know how down bad and how embarrassing it would be for them to lose to a team that was outside of the play-in last year in the Orlando Magic? Do you know how many awkward conversations would have to be had about Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland? I would hate to be a fan of the Cleveland Cavaliers if they lost this first round series.
Yeah, I got
some bad news for you.
I'm so glad you said this though. Real talk, bro. I'm very glad you said this because I actually think that this is honestly the most interesting series in the first round. Because I think that the ripples that come from this series are going to could potentially affect the NBA more than anything else. Just because I think that that again, if the Cavs lose this series, either Darius Garland or Donovan Mitchell is going to get traded. One of those guys is out of there. You have to switch it up. JB Bickerstaff is losing his job, so there's that. Either Evan Mobley or Jared Allen, they're also potentially going to be moved. And so now you're going to have probably 2 or 3 All-Stars being traded across the league. You're going to have Paolo in year 2 leading a team that has absolutely no offense to a playoff series win. And that's going to be massive for him and how people talk about him. I think that there's just there's so much that you can do. And for the Magic, if they win this, do they look at themselves in the offseason once they get eliminated and say, oh, we actually can speed up our timeline. We can go be a little bit, impatient or go, try and get the next unhappy star and really ramp this thing into gear. I think a lot of stuff can happen based on the outcome of this series.
I want to remind y'all that they lost the last game on purpose because they preferred this matchup. In the fourth quarter, they were playing a lineup of Tristan Thompson, Isaiah Mobley, and Pete Nance, and Imani Bates, and Damian Jones. They played 4 centers and Imani Bates in the fourth quarter against the Hornets so they could lose. Now, they had every other Eastern Conference game is wrapped up, so we knew every other seeding. If they win this game, they end up being the 2 or 3. They end up being a 3 seed. But they took their chances to go against the young Orlando Magic. So if they lose this, when they plotted their way to end up here, then everybody getting fired. Everybody should get fired.
Who the fuck is Pete Nance? I watch a lot of basketball. I don't know who Pete Nance is.
Pete Nance has played 8 games in his NBA career. His average is 0.4 points per game.
Shout out to Pete
Wow,
Nance. You
Pete
got a new
Nance.
fan in me.
That's
I
what
thought
Pepe
Tristan Thompson
Sanchez
had a
number.
big suspension.
Whoa, wait a minute. The game where he played the entire fourth quarter that I'm referring to, that he scored his first NBA bucket in that game. So shout out to Pete Nance, man. Shout out to Pete Nance.
Listen,
First
out here
NBA
doing
bucket.
it. Good job.
I love to see him win. So, okay, let's assume we did our predictions episode, and I think we agreed, at least 2 out of 3 of us, that I think we picked the Magic to win the series. At least I
Yes.
did. I don't know if you
I
guys.
did.
I think
I
it's going
did.
to be
I
hard
don't
fought,
remember.
but okay. Well, either way, let's assume they win. And Donovan Mitchell is no guarantee to want to be there long term. Maybe even closer to a guarantee to not want to be there long term, given everything we know about him and his leaked desires and what we can read between the tea leaves. What do you do if you're the Cavs then? Do you want to just rip the Band-Aid off and go back to the original timeline? Do you try to convince him to stay and move Garland and put, point guard D Mitch? Like, what's the best option there?
Peace. You
Man.
send somebody to his apartment and you help him pack, and you tell him he has to go. Because honestly, like even as much and as talented as Donovan Mitchell is, if you don't want to be here, you don't have to be here, right? If you legitimately,
But he has acted like he wants to be there. Every time he's on the interview, he clearly wants to be there, or at least plays the part.
that plays the part, and then what? A week later, we get some report, and it's like, he's unhappy. Like there was something that came out today that's saying like he's linked to like the Nets again or whatever. It's so obvious he wants to be either in New York or Miami, and you could say whatever you want. People have gone in front of the media and said, "I want to retire here. I love the city," and then a month later they request a trade. So I don't think that he wants to be there. And if you don't want to, by all means, go somewhere else, because I'd rather have a core that wants to be here and then we can all be invested, rather than every single offseason have to be concerned about convincing you to stay here and convincing you to be a part of this timeline, especially if we have back-to-back first-round losses. Like, why am I begging for this? I'm not going to do it.
Okay, well, let's say that happens, and you trade him to, I don't know what team. What team would do, well, out of the top of our head real quick, would say it'd be a destination for him?
Miami, Brooklyn.
Just say Miami.
Sure, let's say Miami, and you get Tyler Hero in the door, you get Jaime Jaquez and some picks. Do you feel confident going forward with Garland, insert decent but not star player, Mobley and Allen? Do you feel like that's still a path forward after you did the detour with D-Mitch for a couple of years? Like, can you really go back to that and view it as a long-term successful plan?
I think that's a great. Go ahead, Kenny.
It's just a lot of pressure on Evan Mobley, really. I think that's what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the people drafted around him, Kay Cunningham was on a really, really bad team. But we saw this year him take steps. We've seen after a really rough sophomore year, Scotty Barnes take a huge step. And it's like, when is Evan Mobley going to do it? Defensively, it's not a lot of people I would take over Evan Mobley. But on a team like this, you need him to evolve offensively. And I think part of it is because when you added Donovan Mitchell, the amount of opportunity that Evan Mobley has to play through his mistakes or try to spread his wings is kind of limited. We've gone from a team that can make the playoffs to a team that's trying to win a championship, just like that. And for a young player, that's a huge shift. And like Cade or Scotty Barnes haven't had that shift where they can be confident. Like Scotty Barnes was running point guard majority of the season. If they were trying to compete for a championship, there's no world where Scotty Barnes gets the opportunity to be the lead playmaker. I'm not saying that's what they should do in Cleveland, but maybe there's a world where we play more 5 with Evan Mobley because we're not worried about us losing the game because he's thin, but we have to play him with Jared Allen because he's too thin to guard the Jokic's of the world 101 and so on.
I 110% agree. The next pathway has to 110% be on like Evan Mobley's back and what he is. I said to these guys on our stream, 8 p.m. Monday Eastern time, tap in. I was like, y'all was listening to, I think, a Zach Lowe podcast, and his co-host, I think it was Tim Bontemps, he was like, yo, like Evan Mobley, long story short, he was like, Evan Mobley's looking real Derek Favors-ish. That's super tough conversation and like comparisons to, be tied to if you're someone like Evan Mobley. And, like we see the skills, the talent, the frame and all that. But in order for him or this team to reach that next level, it has to be behind the Evan Mobley ascension, And for a young player, it's just hard. Everything is just so situational when you're young in the NBA to ping around and find your true identity. And it will be awkward for him to do it after being relegated to a specific role on this team, put 110% of your focus on defense, and whatever happens on offense, it happens. But it has to be behind him, and there's immense pressure behind him if that's the case.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like Luka Doncic is under pressure?
Kind of.
It's the first year he's had a legitimately great team around him. For previous years, it was always he's one of the best players of all time, potentially on that roadmap to being that. One of the best starts to career I've ever seen. We give him credit for losing in a really cool fashion to the Clippers, but nobody's ever held it against him truly because the team wasn't quite good enough. Now they're very much good enough and even favored, I think, betting-wise, to beat this team in the first round. It's not like a thing where he has to win or he's a fraud, but for the conversations he's in as being an all-time great talent, people are starting to say he might be better than Dirk already. All this stuff, whatever context you want to frame it, does he have to win to really keep those type of conversations going?
Not in year
I'll win it
one
all, but make a run.
Not in year one of the team being good, I don't think. I think we typically give a player a season or two with a good roster around them before we start throwing the fraud allegations around. And I think Luka has just a little bit more time. And I think it also helps that in those series that they lost to the Clippers, he was averaging 38 points per game and hitting game winners and stuff. So at least we've already seen him be a top end player in the playoffs, while some of the other younger guys that if they were replaced with Luka without that resume, we might be thinking about it.
Yeah. It's just interesting because he definitely won't be a fraud, but I think if he wants to stay on this trajectory that people were saying in their minds of he's the most dominant young player since LeBron. This could be a top 15 player of all time when it's all said and done. That narrative might quickly flip if he flames out in the first round.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think some of it depends on how healthy Kawhi is, because if Kawhi's there and he's healthy and the Mavs end up losing, then I think a lot of people can look at that series and say, okay, well, even though that the Clippers weren't playing well going into the playoffs, they still had Kawhi and Paul George and James Harden. There's enough star power and name recognition on the other side to where you can kind of, hold that off for a little bit. I think what Kenny said is right. If they lose this year in the first round and then bring the team back, go through next year and then lose in the first round again, then we'll have serious conversations of okay, what's going on here? Because you went to the conference finals in 22, right? Yeah, in 22, haven't been back since, missed the play in 1 year. What's going on? It doesn't seem like after the restart we've progressed. So it's really a 2.5 year sample size. And the team has only been together for half a season. So
yeah, exactly.
You still have that.
Okay. Then if that one's not a big thing, then who has more pressure? Giannis or Damian Lillard? That's
that organization, bro. I don't know if it's either of them because Giannis is hurt and Dame is Dame or whatever. But me personally, I would point towards all the people in the front office because just 7, 8 months ago, Giannis, a lot of people don't remember this, but he hopped on one of his favorite reporter friends or whatever podcast on YouTube, and he was talking about how much he wanted to fucking win. This was prior to the Damian Lillard trade. We all know Giannis and his tendencies. He just likes applying pressure to these guys next. And I kind of sounded crazy. But anyways, we
I wasn't even thinking about that.
We see him make it known that he's constantly just wants to win and he's just not satisfied with the results on the court. And if they do have another upsetting round against the Pacers, then, they're going to be really put in an awkward spot because how much else can they do? And at this point in time, they're going to completely have to deconstruct and reconstruct their identity as a team.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the Giannis pressure is dimmed down now that he's injured to start off with, at least. But there's pressure going into it. Man, you were the Adrian Griffin spokesperson. We brought him in and he was ass. So now we have Doc Rivers, you know what I'm saying?
And he was ass.
Right. There's a certain level of responsibility you have as a superstar caliber player that I feel like it keeps getting higher and higher and higher, where I personally don't give a damn who Giannis wants to coach the team. Who is the best candidate? And that's how we get to the point where Doc Rivers is our coach for the next 3 years. And we know Doc's track record. But because Giannis is injured, I can't really add him, especially if he's going to miss a game or two in this series. The last time he missed a game or two, they lost to the 8th seed. So anything can really happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of I actually do think that a lot of pressure is on Dame because we've seen this year, we've seen him be very inconsistent. But when Giannis has been out, we've seen Dame kind of rise, to the occasion, and he's been able to play well and play more in a style that he's comfortable with. That's probably going to be the case for games 1 and 2. And the Pacers, although they are better, they're still not great defensively. Can you go against a not great defense and score and maybe even have the series tied 1-1, be up 2-0? Can you? Yeah, this tweet is crazy. This Doc Rivers montage is hilarious. But yeah, for Dame, I think it's a lot of pressure because not only do you have to keep the Bucks in the series for this year, you have to show that going into next year, you are still able to be relied upon night in and night out as a legitimate number 2 option. And this is the first time that we've seen you in a team that we, coming into the season, thought that you had a championship ceiling. I want to see what that looks like after this season. This video. How long is this video, bro?
This might be the funniest tweet I've ever seen, bro. I have tears forming in my eyes because of this tweet, man.
You're just silently dying over there. This is crazy. I didn't even see this on the.
This is so good.
Dude, they're in for 3 years of Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Like when it happened, I rationalized it and I was like, listen, I get it. You need
he won't last all
You
3.
need a baseline. How many coaches are they going to pay at once?
A lot.
Good God.
Like a lot. If they flame out, right? Let's say that Giannis comes back and they're down 0-2 for some reason, and you end up losing the series in 6 or 7, whatever. You go into next season, Dame doesn't feel the same way. You don't win a championship, even if they make the conference finals or whatever. You don't win a championship. How is Giannis, who, like Mo says, has consistently applied pressure and at every turn looked upstairs and been like, I might leave, right? Like, just know, I might be out of here if you don't do your job. Like, they feel impatient. And the fact that they fired Adrian Griffin midway through the season kind of shows their impatience. The fact that they went after Dame, which I guess you can't really blame them for making that trade, but you shook up a lot of things on top of firing Bud and doing all this other stuff. They seem kind of impatient within the last 15 months because it feels like they are trying to appease Giannis at everything. So if that's the case, I don't know if I can trust them to actually look back and tell Giannis, no, this is what we're doing. This is our plan. This is how we're going to move forward. So I can see them firing Doc Rivers within the next 3 years.
That would be so embarrassing to do, bro. So embarrassing.
Yeah, man. I think that's most of the teams we got to talk about for having a lot of pressure. I left my watch at home. Mo, do you know what time it is?
Man, what a glorious Thursday evening, bro. The Warriors lost. I see folks over here rejoicing over crowns. They're all over there. We have to give it to them, bro. It is TikTok time. Let's fucking do this, man. Oh, my goodness. What a day. New era.
What is that you keep grabbing?
These are roses.
Oh.
I got a beautiful
it,
face.
just garnishing it.
They're dying, too. This is supposed to be symbolic of this new era that we're in right now, bro. Our 10 years of trauma is finally over.
Welcome to TikTok time. Yeah, man. We got a bunch of TikToks for you guys today. We got Kenny with us for a couple of them before he has to go. So let's do the funny ones right away. The first thing we got to talk about. We have a tier list for you guys to start with today of the funniest moments of the NBA season. It's not last year where we had potentially the funniest season of NBA history. It was ridiculous.
Facts.
But we got some gems this year. There's some moments to talk about. It should be good.
Let's do it, bro.
Let's go.
Tier listing is our thing.
Yep.
We've never made a bad one.
Yeah, never.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Reddit, and we never made a good one. Yeah, man. As you guys know, I think this is like 11 moments pulled up. Real simple. We're gonna put them in a tier list, S through F, based on how funny they were. And I think it's only right we start with Jimmy Butler getting the emo haircut. Started the season off with a bang. Where are we putting this?
This has
This is
to be
the S tier. We got 5 million views off of this, bro, right here. I must say, this is the S tier. I was singing on camera for the first time, bro, for my entire life. Got me reciting Randy Orton lines. S tier like a motherfucker. Peak troll.
Listen, in terms of content, there's never been a funnier moment than this, I don't think. This is peak. It got to be S tier.
Yeah, the fact that it was so unexpected that he just showed up that way makes it S tier.
Yeah. And we should have expected it, given his track record of interesting hairstyles, but we never did. And that's what makes it so great.
I agree. Next year, I need to see him with the complete shiny.
Bald-headed Jimmy would be crazy.
Yeah. I need him on
spiky
Richard
mohawk
Jefferson type timing, bro.
All right. Next up, Giannis and his game ball fiasco against the Pacers.
Listen, this is S tier to me. I've never seen a grown man freak out like this. I've never seen anybody.
You must not hoop at LA Fitness often. I'll tell you that.
I've seen you freak out like this.
Exactly, he does for
No.
sure.
Not like this. This is a different level. Running back and forth. Giannis freaked out so bad that the Pacers were like, we need to hire a black belt to defend Tyrese Halliburton. They hired a professional fighter to protect them against Giannis. That's how crazy he was. This is S tier.
Facts.
They had to hire John Wick to come protect Halliburton. That's
I signed that man the next day. That was crazy, bro.
We're going S tier or A tier?
I think it should be S, bro.
The repercussions of it is hilarious. And
Let
it was
Kenny
proved
guess.
he was wrong. He was wrong. Like they had the right ball the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it a S tier. That he went through this for 30 minutes for them to just say, "Bro, what are you doing? We gave you the ball already. We gave you the
just loud and wrong."
Yeah, S tier is the right way.
Relax.
Okay. Next up, Kenny, what do you think about this one? Draymond choking out Rudy Gobert.
Can everything be S tier? I mean, this is a 7'1" player that was getting choked out, but it looked like he did not care at all. He's looking at the ref, pointing at Draymond like the ref can't see that Draymond is choking him right now. Like it is the best thing because we know that Draymond has hated Rudy Gobert for a long time, and Draymond's Green's eyes lit up when he saw an opportunity to choke this man out. It's S tier.
Draymond was spamming buttons, hitting fatalities on him. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert could have smelled the wrong way, bro, or just breathed the wrong way, and Draymond would have done the same exact shit. He was looking for any reason, any excuse to do that. That's an S tier moment.
You know what's funny? If that was Nas Reed in that kerfuffle instead of Rudy Gobert, Draymond Green wouldn't have done a damn thing.
He picks and chooses for sure.
Okay. Well, what about 2 weeks later, Draymond Green punching the shit out of Yusuf Nurkic and getting indefinitely suspended?
All right, that's not S.
It's not an S. It's more A for like annoying because it's like it's just crazy because he got suspended and then came right back, did the same thing. It's like, do you not learn
Repeat
anything?
offender.
Like, bro, 2 weeks later, come on, have some discipline. Like,
No, this is the time where it turned. It was the opposite of funny. I was thinking like, does bro really need to hit the therapist? Like, it's funny choking a man out.
Better help, bro.
But the other stuff 2 weeks later, we like, get bro help, please. This is not funny at all to me.
That's what Kevin Durant was
You're like, damn, is he gonna ruin his legacy? Right. One punch at a time? Okay, we can go A tier for annoying. I like that. Just listen, a pattern is a pattern. We can't ignore it.
I agree.
All right, next up. How about when Draymond Green put out a documentary after the second punch, painting himself as the victim?
How many documentaries is he going to make after a violent act? Right? Because he did the same thing after the Jordan Poole thing. They're not working, Draymond. Right? The documentaries are not helping people get on your side. Why do you keep doing this?
The only
This
thing
is a PR disaster class.
I picture him picking up his phone, calling his aides, and saying, "How much is a production team? I need something to get off my chest."
It's like when people call into a radio station and during rap beefs to get some shit off their chest. He calls up some studio in LA. He's like, I got a narrative to change.
Academics, where you at?
He goes on Vlad TV. What, are you going to B for this? It gets progressively less funny every time.
Yeah, because it's serious. It's like, Wow, I'm really worried for this man.
We can go B.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, next up. What about Draymond? What about Andre Drummond trying to dunk Torrey Craig's self-oop?
This was funny to y'all? I was watching this and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The last 5 years of Bulls fandom, this is the moment. This shows us exactly what we've been through every single night.
Is this one of the top 5 dumbest plays y'all have ever seen in the NBA? Maybe top
Might be top 2.
And I watched
got
JaVale
Mount
McGee's
Rushmore.
entire career. I watched JaVale
I was
McGee.
gonna say.
Yeah. That's why I
We
said
got
top
Mount
5.
Rushmore.
That's why I said top 5. I respect greatness. I respect what JaVale McGee has done in the Shaqtin' a Fool game. Right? He has moments. So I don't want to disrespect that.
I was gonna say, if we got a Mount Rushmore of bad plays, we got Drummond up there, and then JaVale McGee with 3 different expressions.
Drummond is not even the problem. Why is Torrey Craig trying to self-lob?
There is no explanation for that. He doesn't deserve to have that type of
Thinks he's playing Park. He's on
It was
2K.
so out of pocket. That's why Drummond jumped, because he had never seen Torrey Craig try to act like this before. It must be for me, because
act
I've
like
never
that.
seen him dunk. I've never seen him dunk.
This got to be A tier. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Drummond hurt himself doing this. That's ridiculous too.
That is hilarious, man.
He was out for
tier.
like 4 days. He had to go home and rest his foot because Torrey Craig wanted to be stupid. Oh my God, that's hilarious. All right, next up, we got James Harden contesting Kawhi Leonard's 3-point shot and Kawhi getting mad at him about it.
Bro.
It's funny. It's funny because it's James Harden. Because like LeBron did this a couple years ago. Like he faked blocked Rondo's shot, and everyone was like, "Look at the team chemistry. They're so together." And Kawhi Leonard's like, "Bro, get out of my way! Like, what are you doing? Leave!" Like it's hilarious.
Like I'm
It's
close to
every
50,
single
40,
play.
90, and this is what you're doing to me?
No facts.
That's true.
He said, "You have playoff fraud allegations, and this is how you want to build chemistry." Ridiculous.
You know, this is
It's so funny because
yeah.
that's such a clear difference between LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard as players.
Mm.
LeBron's like, haha, it's one random play. We're all good. Kawhi's like, every play I must dominate. Every play I must murder. Get out of the way.
And they kind of needed that 3-pointer too, bro. Like when LeBron did it, it was for fun. It was just a layup and Rondo made it or whatever. But this is the corner 3 and like an important game because they're fighting for playoff seeding. James Harden, you don't deserve to do that when you're fighting for your life here.
That's the best part. Like, what compelled James Harden to do that? It wasn't a layup or was going in regardless. He had serious impact on the shots.
What was going through Kawhi's mind? Like as he's loaded up, he's just like, he's getting closer. He's getting closer. Why is he here? Like, I need to hear his point of view.
This is just like a intrusive ADHD thought where he's like contest. Like he just has to do it.
It's A tier
We're
at
going-
least.
A tier it is.
I'll put a C because I'm still mad for Kawhi. He missed.
All right, we got Steph Curry going up for a jump ball with Victor Wembanyama.
I'm not gonna lie. This is not funny. This is like the video of Kelsey Plum like eating popcorn where she's trying to be quirky. And then she's just like, ah, like, no. It's not funny. It's not funny.
Steph Curry wants to go viral so fucking bad every time he touches the court. Every time he can, he's doing his little taunts. He's playing to the crowd, trying to get viral clips like this. This is hilarious because he's so shameless about wanting to be on every Instagram page there is.
Said, I'm gonna make HOH with this one. Oh my god.
That also highlights broke NBA players, bro.
I'm not doing this. That was not
He
funny.
said, Real's gonna love this.
Yeah. This is a D, man.
God, he's hilarious. Man, give this an F. Never mind. I changed my mind. You're right. Steph, get a grip. All right, last but not least, we got Zion Williamson smirking when he got asked what he's going to do in Vegas during the in-season tournament.
Nah, this is a nasty guy. This is a nasty guy. And he knows it.
What do you think?
He's embraced his personality. And I love that for him.
Yeah, getting asked what you're gonna do with money and looking so menacing is always a recipe for disaster.
So
And not only did he do that, Brandon Ingram looked at him knowing that he does some crazy stuff with his money.
Brandon was like, "We seen the Twitter threads. We know what goes on."
They're not
Disgusting
helping
brothers
the
for
narratives,
real.
bro. Facts.
So I'm familiar with your game. That's team chemistry right there.
Yeah.
That
That is true.
What are
A,
you
S
going?
tier.
Good B.
B, yeah, B's fine.
Yeah.
Love it.
Let's rock with it.
And those are the funniest moments of the NBA season. Does anybody else have any honorable mentions that I forgot about? Because it's hard to remember all the funny moments.
was a
Yesterday,
long
the Twitter AI thought Klay Thompson was actually throwing bricks, and they wrote a fake AI news story about him throwing bricks in public. That was funny.
That was embarrassing, bro. Elon, what have you done to my favorite app?
I don't even want to get into that can of worms. All right, that's all the funny moments I can think of. Let's move on to the next video.
Let's do it.
We got one more video real quick with Kenny before you got to get you out of here. Kenny, this one I think makes sense to do with you. Last week we started a series of making Mount Rushmores of NBA things.
Okay.
We made the Mount Rushmore of NBA teams. We're going to make the Mount Rushmore of NBA point guards.
Okay.
So, it's basically the top 4 point guards of all time, but Mount Rushmore can mean a lot of different things. You can factor in whatever you think needs to be factored into that. Maybe it's not necessarily who's the best. Wherever, we'll see where we go with it.
Okay.
But real simple. Let's make the Mount Rushmore of NBA point guards. Who are the locks to be there immediately?
Magic Johnson is an absolute lock. Steph Curry
Clearly.
is an absolute lock.
I agree.
Okay, so 1 and 2 right off the board.
Yeah.
Real simple. Third is pretty contentious. I don't know who comes right after that. You can say a lot of names.
Okay, so
We go with an Isaiah Thomas. Does he deserve to be there for what he did in his era?
I mean, if we want to be real about it, probably, but that's no fun.
That's true.
Listen,
I-
I'm gonna choose one every time.
Listen, I'm gonna just ask the question: does Christopher Emmanuel Paul make the Mount Rushmore?
Talk to me. Now we back to real, and I'm real. We can keep it real on this one.
Yeah, is
Chris
he on the
Paul.
Mount Rushmore?
Should be on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay, so who's his competition? Let's say that. Who's the competition?
Jason Kidd?
Steve Nash, Russell Westbrook, maybe? Not my cup of tea, but some people will say Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Do any of those names deserve to be there immediately over Chris Paul?
You could argue the Nash thing just because he's got the 2 MVPs, but those MVPs don't move me at all. I think I'm just heavily biased to Chris, so I'm going to always put my vote to Chris Paul, but I don't know what y'all thinking.
Fuck it,
You
Chris
were-
Paul's in there. I agree.
Over Isaiah Thomas? I think that's the conversation. Is Chris Paul or Isaiah Thomas?
I mean, how much do we value chips here?
I mean, they have to matter.
I mean, we
at
should
least a little
value
bit.
chips. We should value chips.
If we value chips, it's got to be Isaiah Thomas, I think.
Yes.
Both 20 and 10 guys,
Yes, it's Isaiah
both good
Thomas.
defenders.
I'm letting my bias show. It is 100% Isaiah Thomas. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. All right, okay, so if Isaiah Thomas is number 3, who is Chris Paul duking it out with for this last spot?
Sean Livingston.
Oh my god.
You drive a hard bargain.
100% Sean Livingston.
Do we want to respect our elders and go Oscar Robertson? You
Oh, Bob Cousy?
want to see some good hook shots?
That's a little too old. That's a little too old.
Does James
Okay,
Harden's
does
name
Russell
deserve to be
Westbrook have a
brought up?
case? Oh, James Harden, we count him as a point guard?
He should be remembered as that.
I have never felt good about like James Harden being a point guard, even though that like it's true. I just see him and I'm like, nah, you're not a point guard. It's never felt right.
He won his MVP wait, when did he win it? Did he win it with Chris Paul?
Yeah, he won it towards the end of the Rockets stint, so he was like fully point guard.
Yeah. So he won the MVP with Chris Paul on the team, so he was already a shooting guard still.
Yeah.
I think the real battle would be Chris Paul versus Russell Westbrook.
Really?
I've had this debate many times. Kenny, I'm on your side. If I want to win a game, if I want to talk about what a real impact to winning point guard is, I'm taking Chris Paul every day of the week.
Talk that shit, Isaac. That's the reality of it.
Like, listen, MVP was great. It was awesome him having the coolest 6 seed of all time. Put the team on his motherfucking back. If you want to look me in the eyes and tell me that's a player that could win a championship in an easier way than 2007 Chris Paul, I think you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, people weren't around, man. There's a lot of young people on these TikToks. We old heads remember 2006, 2007 now. We remember top 3 in MVP voted. We were there for that.
God damn, 2006? Shit.
He said, you're a little older than I am, but all right. I'm cool going Chris Paul with the last face on this Mount Rushmore.
All right. You
Lock
got
it.
it.
What a
Chris.
list.
You got it.
I
Chris.
like it. I dig it.
Comments are going to hate us for that, but I can't wait. So many interactions are coming. All right, man. Kenny, I think it's just our time to kick you out.
All right, appreciate you, fellas. Was a blast. Would love to come back
I
again.
appreciate it, man.
When I have more
Of course,
time
the door's
to
always
do
open.
Full show. But I told Mike that I would. He does these 2K tournaments. I told him I would be on his team in this 2K tournament. So
So that's why you got to leave us early.
that's
Okay.
why it's not even something that's important, really. But I'm a man of my
Damn,
word,
Mike.
so I'm a man of my word. So I told him I'll be there, and I got to get upstairs. So appreciate you, fellas. Y'all don't need anything from me, right?
No, we're all good. Appreciate you, man.
You're good.
All right, enjoy the rest of the show.
All right, let's continue on. One less Kenny in the door. Let's do something we did a while ago, but we only did it one time. Guess the NBA player by their jersey. So this should be a fun one. I have a lot of like random jerseys you wouldn't normally associate with a player to show you. So like if I were to pick, I don't know, Ricky Davis, it wouldn't be a Cavs jersey. You know, it's somebody that some other team they played for. We'll see how deep your guys' bag is.
Let's see how disgusting this TikTok time gets, man. I'm here for it.
I don't know if it would be disgusting. Maybe it'll be difficult. Hopefully. Last time it was easy as hell. Y'all ran through it. I tried to make it a little bit harder, but still capable of you guys getting it. We'll see how I did.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
Real simple. Guess the NBA player by their jersey. First player we got. Who is this player?
Ooh. I know who this is.
You got
I
it?
think I know who
Immediately?
this is.
Carry
Yeah.
me.
I'm a freakazoid. Is this Cody Zeller the Yeller? Oh no, Tyler Zeller. Tyler Zeller.
This is not a Zeller of any sort. No, incorrect.
Fuck.
Man, I was
Damn.
confident. Get out of here.
He was. He was. I'm trying to see. See, now this is where I need the sponsorships, right? I need to know if this is an older player, a newer player. I need that little Nike check.
There's no logo, so it's definitely like early
I was gonna say, there's
2010s.
What does nothing there tell you?
Exactly. This is a very old school 1960s font. I
Really?
don't.
That's just the Celtics.
Yeah.
It's just the Celtics all the
I
time.
know. I mean, listen.
It has to be a big man.
They've used the same font for 20, 40 years. I don't know.
What number did Celtics Shaq wear?
He wore 30.
That'd be funny.
He wore 36.
Oh shit. Okay. Nah,
It's
get
crazy.
out.
This feels like this. I know it's not him, but this feels so like Brandon Bass, and it's just
Ew.
it's just not him.
All right. Think about the white Brandon Bass visually.
Oh wow, the white Brandon Bass.
What's that dude who commentates for them now, Donovan? What's his name?
Oh, you're right. This is Brian Scalabrine. This is the white
The
Mamba.
team legend Brian Scalabrine.
Let's go.
See that perfect lob?
How could I
There we
forget?
go, man. That was immaculate teammate chemistry building right there.
He actually wore the same number as Cody Zeller, so I see why you said that. I think they both were 44.
I was not wrong. There we go. Damn.
Yeah, but it wasn't his jersey. But yeah, close. All
It was.
right, next player. Who is this player?
This man loves 44.
That's such a coincidence. I didn't tell the kid what order to put these in. That's hilarious.
That is hilarious, bro.
Okay,
It's
this is like
linebacker-ass
20.
number.
This is like 2015,
fullback.
2016.
Could this
Yeah.
be like Festus Ezeli or some shit?
Was this Festus? I don't think it was Festus.
44 is nasty. And I don't want to say irrelevant because Festus was important, but this is a number that's just.
Okay, there's
An
two.
irrelevant number?
There's
Only
two,
a scrub would wear 44.
there's two players that are coming to my mind right now, and one of them I think wore 55. So I'm gonna guess the other one. Is this Richard Jefferson?
Oh, hell no.
This is Richard Jefferson.
Oh, my God.
We're
Richard,
here.
no. He
We're
wore
here.
44?
Yeah.
For what?
Warriors legend.
That 44 is the like least impactful number, man. I want to know what that number meant for him then that year. God damn.
Some deeper meaning behind it.
Exactly.
All right, next player. Whose jersey is this?
Oh,
Now this is real hoops right here.
I think I know this. I think I got this. Is
Talk me
this?
through it.
This is a guard's number for sure, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm
Ain't
thinking.
no big man wearing
Why is
this
it for
shit.
sure? Melo wore 7. KD wore 7.
Listen,
He
listen,
was-
but you know,
like, guard
what
skills.
a guard number looks like whenever you
Yeah.
see it. Okay, there's exceptions to every rule, but you know. Mo, is this? Listen, when I see
this
this
be-
number, I picture somebody with a crazy mohawk.
And he was a former New York Knick. This has to be Jeremy Lin.
Exactly.
Correct. It does have to be Jeremy
Oh,
Lin.
we're in our bag.
There
We're
we
here.
go. He also had dreads, bro. I think he was a Hornet with dreads. That's crazy, bro.
A Hornet with dreads.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Oh my god.
I don't know what
Versatility.
happens in Charlotte. You get down there, you get crazy hairstyles.
Nothing good happens to anybody wearing a Charlotte uniform for
Yeah,
It
bro.
spans
We can do a lot of ways.
generations.
Yeah, nah, bro. Charlotte, their training camp must be different. You got to take a pint of lean down to the throat immediately as soon as you land.
They give you perks at the airport.
Facts.
All right, next up. Whose jersey is this?
Oh, this
Donovan,
is.
this might hit home.
Wait, it's not. It's not.
Donovan better know this. You're wearing a Knicks hoodie as we speak.
You're disgusting if you don't know this. Give me your fucking hoodie, boy, if you don't know this. What the hell? Oh my god, I know this player. Say it, Donovan, say it.
Don't say boy.
The spotlight is on you.
I know. There's several guys. I'm blanking right now. though. I'm blanking right now. It's not JR because JR wore 8. Is this? I don't think he wore number 2.
Come on!
Is this Jayson Kidd?
This is Jayson Kidd.
Yeah.
Okay, you live to find another day.
Congratulations. Oh my goodness. That's a great guess.
Well, why is his headband so slanted there? Looks like he's sagging with the headband.
I've never said
He's a 2000s player to his core. He will never leave that
Bro thinks-
decade.
Bro thinks he's Nelly.
that is hilarious, bro.
All right, next player.
Shout out Nelly.
Whose jersey is this?
Ew.
Ooh, this
Adidas
is
era.
nasty. This is
Big
Okay,
old
this is-
nasty jersey, man.
okay. This is. I think this is Omer Ashik.
What a good pull. It's not Omar Ashik.
Damn.
That was great. I love that guess. Could this
Thank
just
you.
be? Did D Wade
Is
wear
it-
this?
I think it's D Wade because it's Adidas. That was like the very last years that Adidas was making jerseys. So D Wade.
This is D Wade.
Ew,
There
man.
we
That's
go.
so
The
gross.
nastiest year of his career.
Please delete this picture.
Made the
from
playoffs,
The
though.
goddamn internet. Yeah. You're right. They did.
Didn't they make the playoffs winning like 40 games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were about to embarrass the Boston Celtics before Rondo fucked up his elbow. Crazy times.
All right, next player. Whose jersey is this?
Ooh,
Damn, 16. This could be a lot of players.
Ugly ass number.
Yeah,
16,
is such an
but-
odd number to wear.
It doesn't look like there's a Nike on it, so I'm gonna say
Nope.
it's a little bit old school. Is this Marco Bellinelli?
I was gonna guess the same thing. It felt like
This
a
is not Marco
Bellinelli type jersey.
Bellinelli.
Did he wear
Damn.
18? I think he wore
That'd be
18.
hilarious.
Yeah. So it's not Bellinelli.
What a
This is
what a
not
role player pull.
Boris, Yeah, this is not Boris Diaw, right? Can't be.
Nope.
No,
Too
Boris
prominent.
wore like 45 or something. He wore something
Ew.
something high. I know it's kind of nasty. I mean, is it right now? Is this your man, Seti Osman?
No, this is not Chetty.
No, Jetty's playing now. This is the new era.
I love how we
he's
said his
a
name in
new
3 different pronunciations.
I know
It
my
is
bad.
Hilarious.
I'm sorry.
Who's to say who's right? I don't even know. Probably Mo.
Jetty. I don't know, bro. Damn, who the hell is 16?
16.
I'll say that's too easy.
What hint?
He's
can
above
you give?
6'5".
He's above 6'5".
Is this?
Tall guy.
It's not.
This fucking Matt Bonner or some shit?
No. Matt Bonner's 15.
Oh,
You just knew that like that?
yeah. Why do you know that? No one should
Come
know
on,
that,
guys.
Donovan.
It's Matt Bonner.
He played
like,
here
Who doesn't know him?
he played here at the end of his career.
Where's he? Oh, like in San Antonio?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, at the end of his career, he was number 6.
Yeah, one more guess. One more guess.
This has to be the most random Spurs player ever, bro.
Is this Pau Gasol?
This is Pau Gasol with Donovan with the buzzer beater.
Wow,
I forgot he played with the Spurs.
Carry
good years.
E. Oh my goodness. That was clutch.
All right, next player. Who is this player?
This could be anybody.
20 with the Nike.
Yeah, but it's a weak Nike. It was just like
It's a bootleg
A
Nike.
weak Nike.
it's
So it
like
could be
late
fake.
2010s. Not
Is
late
this your
2010s,
mans?
but late 2000s. Feels like late 2000s.
I see Lakers
Is this-
20, and I think Jody Meeks.
Exactly. Is this Bobby Bryant?
This is not Jody Meeks. That would be a great pull, though. I wish I would have picked Jody Meeks.
Damn.
Lakers 20. Who's out here wearing that?
Yeah.
What number?
Lakers
It's
20.
not a play.
Yeah, listen, your guy from the G League, Andre Ingram. What number did he wear?
That would be a pull. This is not Andre Ingram. I think he wore like 19 or something.
Okay, that's what I was
Andre
thinking.
No, but he wore something. He wore something ugly. Actually, I don't remember.
What? All right,
Who the hell is this? Ryan Kelly? We don't know.
20 in the Nike era? So that's like the last like 7
No,
years.
you're right.
So we've gotten some
No,
bad
it's
Laker
not.
teams.
Oh, is this Jordan Hill?
This is not Jordan Hill. This is from a previous Nike era, I guess, not the current one.
A previous Nike era. Is this Gary Payton?
Or this is Gary Payton.
Wow.
Ew.
This picture is a definition of wash. This is crazy.
Nike
This
made the
picture
jerseys
shouldn't
at this
exist,
point?
man.
I guess so. I don't know.
Nah, that's what I
crazy.
told you. Listen, this is listen, this is from overseas. This is from AliExpress. Right? That's a Panda Buy jersey right there.
Facts. Ew.
Next up. Whose jersey is this?
37 is disgusting, bro.
Nasty number.
Who had a nasty? Oh, is this Derek Fisher?
Damn, this is Derek Fisher.
Ew.
I remember him
Donovan,
having
you're in
a
the slums. I
disgusting jersey.
love it.
He actually had two
37
numbers there from two different stints.
Really?
He wore 6 once and 37 once.
Yeah,
two
he's a
different stints of this
sicko.
team.
That's gross, bro.
Drove 90 miles like Matt Barnes.
Exactly. This is why Matt
Next
Barnes.
player.
This is why Matt Barnes drove because he wore the number.
All right, next player. Who is this?
All right, 0.
I
for
think I know
4.
who this is off the bat, but
Go
I
ahead.
could be wildly wrong.
You got an early shot?
Could this be Maurice Spates?
Ooh, no.
Damn.
I'm trying to
Tough.
guess real quick. So again, this is an older Warriors jersey. Is this Jarrett Jack?
This is not Jarrett Jack.
I think he wore 55.
Is this
I'll give you a hint. He was only here for one season.
1 year?
one season?
Okay.
Crazy.
You remember
crazy.
who Jeremy Evans was, Donovan? Was he ever a
I do. Jeremy Evans is the name.
was he a
That's a name,
Warrior?
all right.
I don't know why I feel
That's one of
I
the
feel like
NBA players
No,
ever.
he played for the Jazz.
Oh, okay.
No, he got drafted by the Warriors.
He was number 40.
Oh, okay.
For the Jazz.
Hmm.
One of
It's not Jeremy Evans.
a
We will
forgotten
not-
slam
shout out to
dunk,
Jeremy Evans,
two-time dunk contest champion, which is wild. Bro, the dunk contest is
I will
so
say,
bad.
he was here for 1 year in 2019.
Oh man, I was about to say Patrick McCaw. Nah, can't be him. He was there for multiple years.
It's a multi-champion right there. You better respect the name.
Yeah, exactly. One of the
All right,
goats.
who's been-
Never done it before in NBA history.
Who's been in and out of this team in 2019? If you think about that team, you had Steph, Clay, Dre, Iggy, Looney, KD.
Who are the
It's not-
random role players
it's
surrounding
not-
him that year?
I think Jordan Bell
Tip
was
of your
number
tongue.
8. Was it Jordan Bell?
Y'all are thinking,
Say
come
it.
on, y'all.
Damn, yeah.
Y'all never
I
gonna.
might be
You're
right.
never gonna get there. You're never gonna get
I
there.
think we failed.
This is DeMarcus Cousins.
Oh man, that's
Wow.
sick. I hate myself for this.
I'm
Damn.
sorry,
No,
That
Boogie.
throwback is ugly.
I'm sorry. What? This one is fire.
I thought that was
I
kind
don't
of
like it.
hard.
Why not?
Actually, no, it's not ugly. It's eh.
It's cool.
It looks like a old Western.
Want to be Texas so bad jersey? I understand it, but I
It's
like
like it's the cover, the front of a saloon.
Yeah.
Listen, it gets popping in the Bay.
All right.
It's popping in the Bay. Yeah, yo.
Right. don't get Donovan started.
Bro, that's one of my favorite clips ever of Drake after. That's so good. It's taking me everything you got to say it.
I know.
Next thing we're gonna do, Mo, I believe you have some players to talk about in relation to Blake Griffin retiring.
Fuck, bro. Y'all heard the news of Blake Griffin retiring. One of the better power forwards of the 2010s. One of the most entertaining players ever. But him retiring made me ask this question in my head. And it made me want to extend this question to several other players in the league right now. Will this player have their jersey retired?
Okay.
First one up. Let's go ahead and see what it is. Blake Griffin.
By the Clippers?
Listen, will he? I don't know. Should he by the Clippers? Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
For what?
Listen. They are an irrelevant team that was made relevant by a handful of players the first time in decades, one of which is him, number 1 overall pick, lived up to the hype. Listen, he did his time, did that city right, and they dropped him on his motherfucking head. They better do him right by retiring your jersey.
You never made a conference finals. You never made it past round 2. You lost to Josh Smith. No, you are not getting your jersey
Respect
retired.
Josh Smith.
Hey, Jay Smooth was hooping, man. Don't disrespect Houston Josh Smith. What the hell?
Hold on. Exactly. Not Atlanta Josh Smith. Houston Josh Smith. Like, let's be real.
Listen, it's the Clippers. Apply a Clippers tax. We're not expecting them to make finals. That's not the goal here. I'm not saying he should be inducted in the Hall of Fame today, but for Clippers standards, he had a great career with them. A homebred star. He needs to be retired.
Second year, he was an all-star, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got it.
Actually, it was his rookie year, right?
His rookie year?
Yeah.
Special. I think he definitely deserves to get his jersey retired by the Clippers. But will it, though? Him and Steve Ballmer have beef. I remember when he made his return back to LA, he didn't want to acknowledge him at all.
He's not getting his jersey. They already put it up in the rafters, took it down, 6 months later, shipped him out. It's not going back up.
They did him so dirty.
They were on his knees. They're on their knees to fucking get him back on that 2018 Clippers team, and they just
maybe that's what's wrong with the Clippers. Maybe they have bad juju, and it won't go away until they right their wrongs with Blake Griffin.
Facts, bro. They did him so dirty.
That's the plot to a Disney movie. So, like, I guess.
What's next? Ooh, LeBron James.
As a Laker?
As a Miami Heat, as a Cleveland Cavaliers, for sure. We don't need to talk about that. But as a Laker,
obviously the Cavs and obviously the Heat are both. The Heat retired Michael Jordan's number. They're damn sure going to retire LeBron's number.
That's such a munch move, bro. Why would they do that? Oh my God.
But the Lakers is interesting. They have a high standard, but he did bring him a championship. He did choose to go there without another star right away. He looks like he's going to stay there to maybe to the end of his career. If he retires there, I think they'll do it.
I don't think the Heat do it.
You're out of your mind.
I don't think, as long as Pat Riley is there, I don't know if LeBron's jersey is ever going up in those rafters.
It easily.
Just out of spite for leaving?
He's holding that grudge to the day he dies. LeBron's jersey is not getting retired until Pat Riley leaves.
Interesting.
Ew,
okay.
right. It deserves to be
retired
for the
listen,
Heat.
Stay there for a few more years. I think the Lakers get it.
What else does he need? What else needs to be done if you're unsure of it, Isaac?
Just stay there longer. Just retire there. Just be there for a while. You got the ring. Just longevity at this point.
Yeah, it also made NBA history there too. 40K points. We will never see that broken ever again, probably. I think
at this rate, he might be there for 10 years. Like he's already was the year 6 with them. Like he might be there for a long time. It'll happen.
10 years.
Year 6 is crazy.
10 years, one ring. That's not the Laker way. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
That's hilarious.
People expect chips, plural. They're never getting another one.
Stop. 20-year-olds.
It's not happening.
What's next? Ooh, next up is Kevin Durant.
Okay. Oklahoma City should. I don't know.
Will they though?
Exactly. I don't know if they
will. They better. They fucking better.
I don't know if they will.
Be serious. They better.
But they should. Golden State, they already said that they will. Not at all in Brooklyn. Not at all in Phoenix.
Joe Tsai would rather give every rookie imaginable that gets drafted by the team his number than retire it.
That is true.
Josiah himself might play in Kevin Durant's jersey before he retires it. That's not going up in the rafters.
I don't
That
think
might not be retirement. They might ban the number because he doesn't want to be reminded of him.
Oh my God. 35 is banned because of this man. Or it was 7, actually. You're right.
Yeah.
Damn.
7. I know 11's banned. I'll tell you that. I can promise you that.
Pain and turmoil, God damn it. Too far.
13, 2. What number did Paul Millsap wear? 4? That's gone too. Anybody from that era, those jerseys are banned.
No, just straight trauma. I feel it. All right. Next up, we have Kawhi Leonard. There we go.
The Spurs, I don't know. He left with some bad blood in the Spurs.
Not
It's a very
Raptors
dramatic
do
fashion.
Not at all.
Could the Raptors do it off of just one singular year? That's so awkward.
I would say no, but listen, they don't have a lot of history. They might as well, right? Like, what do they have to lose? Like, it's a great year for them. Their only
I ain't
great
gonna
year.
lie.
I'll go, yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. If the Raptors was to do that, he might not show up for his own jersey retirement. So I don't know.
If he stays with the Clippers till he retires, I'm sure they will too, just because he's the star that chose them for the first time in a long time. Probably.
His
That's
jersey
so
should never hang in the
depressing.
rafters. And it's not because he's bad. He just his legacies are weird in every single place that he goes. So I can't do
Yeah.
it.
I think the Clippers is probably the most likely just because they made such a big deal of him coming, giving him whatever they want. It would be the next step of that.
Please.
Yeah, I
they gave
agree.
him
The
they gave
Clippers
him
have
another contract. They have done enough for Kawhi Leonard.
You know, like they gifted their top 10 player in the league a contract. Get out of here.
That is hilarious.
Watch him miss another playoff run.
He could miss every single playoff run, bro. They're still gonna retire his jersey just because he showed up for sure.
They're so down bad. If that happened, they would be insanely down bad.
Yeah.
It would, but it's Clippers history. What do we expect? Next up, we got Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, so what are the Nuggets going to do with him and Jokic both wearing it? Are they going to co-retire it or just give it to Jokic?
They better retire Carmelo's jersey. They
With
better
the
show
run
some
Jokic
respect.
is on? Fuck that.
Listen, they
Why would
they
you
gave
do
it to
that?
their GOAT. Yeah, I mean, tough. You shouldn't have left.
Now, Jokic was a second round pick, and I'm pretty sure the Nuggets didn't expect him being this great, so it's really awkward. But at this point in time, with how great he is, bro, you can't refute it.
Would it be disrespectful to Jokic to co-retire his number after what he's done for that city?
It's not
pissed
Jokic's
if I was
fault.
Jokic.
Another franchise great played before him.
Great.
All right,
That's
see,
heavy
now we're getting
quotations.
disrespectful. See, why are we doing this to Carmelo?
I'm joking.
Right? Why are we doing this? Of course his jersey should be retired in Denver. It should be retired there. I don't know, New York, maybe, but that's the only
Really?
place.
You really questioning for New York? He
Honestly,
did
yeah.
come there.
Again, if we are crowning people for choosing them in free agency, a lot of people should have their jerseys retired. They won one playoff series his entire time there. It wasn't fantastic. Again, not all his fault, but that is what happened.
Tough. No jersey retirement for you, Carmelo. Who's next?
Next up,
he always
we
have
got
Syracuse.
Chris Paul. Who the hell is retiring this man's jersey?
Kenny.
Could it be New Orleans? Kenny. You're right. It's just all around his house.
Do the Hornets give it to him?
I don't
I mean,
know.
do the
If,
Pelicans give it to him?
I don't know if his time was that impactful there.
I mean, it kind of was, but
It was. You're right.
it was impactful.
Listen.
What?
If the Clippers are going to do Blake, they should probably do Chris Paul too.
I agree with that. I think the Clippers is his best chance of getting a jersey retired. After that, I'm not sure.
That
I
one
mean,
year
after
he
that,
had-
it was a carousel team. So after that, he's cooked.
It's about to
that
be
one
another
year
one.
that he had in OKC. Hey, it helped Shea's development, bro. Off of that year alone, I might consider if I'm OKC. Their season
Put him in the
cooked.
Raptors.
Exactly.
He taught Shea how to be a star. There we go. Let's run with that.
Exactly.
The greatest accomplishment of his career.
Exactly. I agree. Who's next? Paul George.
Pacers probably. Why not? He did good by them.
I mean, it ended kind of bad though. I think if he goes back, if he ever goes back, I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'm just like, he might just be a cool star, like a nice era that they had, but I don't know if they retire his jersey.
He went through
He
so
took the
much.
Clippers to
over
their
there.
only conference finals.
Yeah.
What?
He took the Clippers to their only conference finals.
Oh, the Clippers. Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about the Pacers. I mean, yeah, but at the same time, what else have you done? Like, it's not like a super
the Clippers.
impactful time.
It's impressive.
Again, Clippers tax is not high expectations.
We can't, even if you're down bad, you need to have standards for yourself. And so for Steve Ballmer, I hope that you are watching. I hope that you have higher standards for your franchise. You can't do this.
Bro.
You can't.
The inflation over there in the Clippers territory is crazy, bro. What a conference finals is over there to them is like equates to like a championship for any.
That's a
regular
three-peat
fan.
to them.
Exactly, bro. It's just like, yo, we fucking got there, bro. I can't
It's a
believe
dynasty in my eyes.
this is a season to remember. One of the greatest teams of all time. That's how they're thinking over there. And off of that alone, they have to retire his jersey as well.
But do we take that back because he hit the side of the backboard?
Ooh, shit.
Because that's embarrassing. Like that legitimately, like blowing the 3-1 lead and hitting the side of the backboard and hearing Mike Breen be like way off. Like that hurts.
Started calling him way off P. You right. Oh, shit.
That hurts. I don't know if you can do it.
You're right. Ugh. That's tough, man. All right, we got one more. Next up, we got Jimmy Butler. Who is retiring this man's jersey?
This
I
is
feel like the
tough.
Heat have to, right?
They should. They
He
should.
embodies Heat culture, and they made such a big deal about Heat culture being their whole identity. He's given them nothing but blood, sweat, and tears. I feel like it'd be kind of crazy if they didn't. That's like the definition of why you retire a player's jersey.
You know what?
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. 2 finals appearances. I'm okay with that.
When you had no business making it there either, just straight off of his back, I feel like you got to do it.
He gave them life when they didn't have any life since LeBron left. So I think that warrants enough. He
He allowed them to skip a rebuild and be a contender with like 2 late lottery picks in him. That warrants it.
With a consistently trash roster too. 22 will be up there with along the greats, bro.
Yep. Do you retire his before LeBron's?
Oh, no, that's an interesting conversation.
Riley would.
Fuck no.
LeBron?
Pat Riley would. I'm telling you, Pat Riley hates LeBron. He does not like that man.
Listen, one won the chips. One looked really cool losing them.
Give me Jimmy Butler. That's hilarious, bro. I think
great.
that's it.
Cool. Next thing we're going to do a deal or no deal, which we haven't done in a while. This time we're going to do a deal or no deal based around Steph Curry, which, if for those who don't know, deal or no deals.
No, this
deal or no
hurts
deals is
my
a series
heart.
we do. Or I'm going to give you guys some trade packages, and you let me know if you were the GM of the team that has the player we're talking about, this time being Steph Curry, would you accept these trade packages? And you know, the Warriors went out sad, went out pitiful, went out horrendous, went out shattered, went out nasty, went out whatever you want to say. PU. So listen, we're going to frame it as if they were going to rebuild, if he requested a trade, maybe these type of trade packages you would see. Would you do it or would you not?
All right, let's do it. GM
Real
hat
simple.
is on.
NBA deal or no deal, would you accept these Steph Curry trade packages if you were running the Warriors? First off, we got Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and 2 first-round picks.
Bro, the Lakers fan in you was so giddy typing this. Fuck no. Oh my God. Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Oh my God, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah, if I got this call from the Lakers, I would have to pull a Matt Barnes. I'm driving down the highway. I'm beating up Rob Pelinka. Don't you ever disrespect me with a trade request like this again. This is terrible.
You beating him up?
Don't you ever,
We are marching down Staples.
don't you ever get on my phone with some foolishness like this.
You're gonna
No.
be like, yeah, I'll accept that trade. And you're gonna fucking tell him, meet me at a fucking Subway or something. Just fucking plan to jump his ass with everybody. It's hilarious.
All right, no deal. I understand. I hear you guys. Next up, Chet Holmgren straight up.
Listen, Chet, welcome to the Bay. Welcome to
Oh, no.
welcome to the Bay. I will have E40 show you around, right? We can put you on the trolley, right? We'll get you a little pass. You can go wherever you want. Come on to the Bay. I'm making this trade in a heartbeat.
I'm saying hell no to this trade. Are you
What?
crazy? Now, SGA and Curry would be beautiful, but Curry has to retire as a Warrior. If he's not, then I need literally all your picks. Along with that, I
we're
need
assuming-
17 more.
Yeah.
Look, we're assuming he wants to leave. That's the whole point.
If
Nah, I
Steph
can't do
asked
it.
for if
Just
Steph
chat?
if Steph Curry asked for a trade and the Thunder offered the Warriors this, you have to take it. Steph is 35, 30,
Instant deal.
36 years old for a 20,
Instant deal?
21-year-old. Instant.
I'd rather have unhappy Steph than Chet. Just alone.
You're
Chet.
crazy.
I need more.
Dude, that's a star you can build around. This would be a blessing to the Warriors' future.
Should build around what though? They ain't got
Chet
shit.
Holmgren. You start with Chet and rebuild.
I wouldn't want to do this. Wardell, you're not going anywhere. Sorry, bro. Be unhappy. Pout. Don't care. Sell me jerseys.
Next deal. We got Evan Mobley and Darius Garland for Steph and Draymond.
I mean, I feel like you have to take this deal. If you're getting the youth of Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, you kind of have to take this. And Draymond, you are here because Steph is here. If he goes, you go too. Everybody's out of here.
You're right.
Listen, two birds, one stone. You offload the Draymond contract and you get new, fresh duo to build around. That's a deal to me.
Mo, you taking it?
Damn. Now you do create a nice, safe environment over there in Golden State. No more violence. You lower the crime rate because Draymond contributes a little bit to that as well. What he does just naturally.
So you should be the mayor.
Exactly.
That's a spin right there. We're gonna save San Francisco one Draymond trade at a time.
Exactly. We're not allowing this type of act. We don't condone this in our city. Draymond, get out of here. I consider it for sure. I might do it. Nah,
Deal.
I'm not.
Nah. All right, next deal. Brandon Ingram and 2 first-round picks.
Oh my goodness. Steph and Zion Williamson with 2 first-round. Man.
I love Steph
This
Curry.
might be-
I love Steph Curry. I did not realize how easy it was to trade him. I'm taking this deal.
my God.
You gotta go, Steph. You gotta go. I'm sorry. If it's Brandon
I
and
will
2
say-
first round picks, come on.
I don't know how much I'd be excited about building around Brandon Ingram as my building block, though. He's like 28. He's not exactly a young guy anymore.
It's the 2 first round picks that's kind of enticing.
2
Again,
first-round picks from the Pelicans when they have Zion and Steph Curry?
he's 36. Like, what do you mean? We
They
have
only
to
need
get
2
younger.
more good years out of him. Zion ain't gonna be playing when he's 29. So like, you gotta capitalize.
Oh, my God.
I might do it.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, there you go. A bunch of deals. Like, the first time we have more deals than we have no deals. That's surprising.
It's
But
so depressing.
it'd be like that when the
bro.
players
Now
old.
again, this is
Yeah.
only if Steph Curry requests a trade.
Yeah.
If not,
Okay.
I'm with Mo. You better stay here. You better sell these jerseys.
Yeah.
Shoot them threes.
Exactly. Shimmy.
Night. All right, we got 2 more videos left before we get out of here. Next thing, we're going to play the imposter game again. Been a couple weeks since we did this. Fun series. I'll take the TikTok comments, love it. You guys know how the video works. Nikhil is going to text 2 of us, a name of a player. The third person that doesn't get a text will know they're the imposter. And the goal of this game is for us to take turns giving very vague descriptions of the player until we can figure out who the imposter is. And whoever the imposter has to pretend they know who it is and try to blend in.
All right, bet.
Yeah, so give Nikhil a chance to send these texts out. This game is very fun. We have a habit of doing it too fast, so we got to take our time and really let it marinate. But should be good. I guess the order can go me, Mo, Donovan. That would be the order of guessing. So you guys know what's up. 2 of us know the NBA player. 1 of us doesn't. We got to figure out who the imposter is. First off,
Let's do it.
highly regarded draft pick.
Okay.
Let's keep it vague.
Okay. Not 1 million followers on Instagram.
Okay. Not a popular guy. All right.
Loki, that's kind of specific, but I don't have time to look up Instagram followers right now. Good athlete.
Okay.
Nice. He's an NBA player.
Listen, now
Skilled offensively.
Okay. Nice.
Got a little back to him.
Okay, he has a little bag. I see. Facial hair.
Great. That narrows it down for me.
He got it. He's every man.
There's like 5 NBA players who don't. Great. It's not Richard Jefferson. Fantastic.
real hooper.
Interesting adjective to describe him. Okay. Impactful next to stars.
Okay. Impactful next to stars. Good handle. You have to if you're impactful next to stars, unless you're. Let me leave it at that.
Decent shooter.
Okay.
It's all right.
Mo. I got my eye on
Let's
Donovan.
cut the ties, bruh. What do you guys want to do? I got 2 guns. Which one of y'all want to get shot?
It's the office scene.
Exactly.
Shot blocker.
Ooh.
Wait,
Canary
hold
field
on,
goal.
wait. Okay, no. I'm sorry. I tripped out. I thought it was Mo's turn.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Okay, you said shot blocker. Okay. 6'11", I think.
Okay. Donovan.
High potential.
All right, y'all. Mo, let's vote Donovan's ass out of here. Nobody
Sorry,
has ever
buddy, you
regarded this
gotta
guy.
go. You're ready to get sniped? Put the hands up.
What'd
You're
I
right
say?
there.
We stopped
Boom.
talking. We stopped talking about potential with this guy like 3 years ago.
What'd I say?
Donovan is the imposter.
What'd I say?
Fake as hell.
What'd I say?
Vote him off the island.
Potential means nothing.
This guy has reached his potential.
How much better can this dude get, Donovan? Do you want to try to save
Donovan-
yourself?
He can
Are
get
you
a
the
lot
imposter?
better. He can get a lot better.
So who's the name?
The guy. Nah,
So, Donovan, are you the imposter?
Of course I am.
Got his ass. This is
There
Jared
we
Jackson
go.
Jr.
There we go.
I'll just still. Nah, there actually still is the ceiling.
All right, we got round 2. Nikhil sent us another round of names. We got one more of this. That was good. Systemically eliminated his ass. He said decent shooter. I'm like, it's a pretty good shooter.
Yeah.
I was worried we made that one too easy that he would have caught on.
No, I thought you guys were talking. Most said 6'11". I thought you guys were talking about Evan Mobley.
That's not a bad guess. Very similar players. Okay. Round 2. Real simple. You guys understand. We got the text ran out. Same order. Me, Mo, Donovan. Tough player.
Defense.
Pretty easy to assume when I say tough.
Exactly.
Nobody tough is bad at defense.
Never met a tough, non-good defensive player. Who the hell is that?
Mid shooter.
Okay. 10-year vet. Long career.
Okay. Long career. Multiple teams.
Okay, another easy assumption. Most people do.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Multiple hairstyles.
Another easy assumption. Most people do. I can't say that. Long hair.
Long hair. Interesting. Black.
We're full of great assumptions today.
We are.
Yeah.
Breaded.
What?
Nice. A great assumption after great assumption.
Breaded.
Has at least one family member in the NBA at some point.
That is so specific.
One family member in the NBA at
From
some
an NBA family.
From an NBA family. Okay. Good wingspan.
Okay.
Okay. Underrated.
Okay, I got my eye on both of you.
Underrated?
Don't-
What do you mean by that?
I got my eye on both of you. One more round, because I'm looking at both of you after that last round just now. What's a good way to
Mo,
describe
how do we
this?
know it's not Isaac?
On a contender.
I agree. I think he's kind of stunning at us a little bit.
On a contender.
On a contender, okay.
Reveal yourself.
Stocks merchant.
Stocks merchant. Okay, Donovan, what's your next one? Think carefully.
Time out. No, it's okay. You know what? I've mercy today, so I'm gonna just keep going. Key piece.
You're not helping at all. That didn't help me eliminate you whatsoever.
Well, let's go ahead and bring them guns out, boys.
I'm looking at Mo.
I'm looking at Mo too.
And I'm
Mo,
looking at you too.
Mo, are you the imposter? We're voting you.
I'm voting Mo.
I'm the imposter. Fuck.
I knew it. Nobody's ever called Drew Holiday a stocks merchant.
Oh man.
Not a
Fuck.
day in their fucking lives.
God damn it.
Love it. All right, that's the end of that. We got one more video before we get out of here. I love the imposter game. Next thing we're going to do, a new segment I want to try out. I'm going to give you guys 2 NBA players, and we're going to go category by category and see which player is better at each one. The categories are going to be passing, shooting, finishing, defense, and clutch.
Okay.
So you remember those old graphics from Jayson Tatum's rookie year where they had Tatum and Kuzma? And they were
Oh
like
my
inside?
God.
And they gave like 4 out of 5 to Kuzma. We're basically
Yeah.
going to do that.
Straight slobbing. I love it.
Great slobbing.
Not me. You know what I mean.
Which NBA player is better at each of these categories? First off, we got Jayson Tatum versus Kevin Durant.
All right, so Kevin Durant is
Shooting
easily
KD.
the better shooter.
Facts.
Got to give him that right off the board.
Everywhere, bro, for sure.
Defense, listen, KD's had a great defensive year. Still going Jayson Tatum.
Easy.
Same.
Yeah, he has more of the reputation consistently throughout his career, for sure.
And listen, Jayson Tatum may love him some step back threes, still a better finisher than old man Kevin Durant.
At this point in his career, yeah, he has the finishing. I would kind of give Kevin Durant the passing. I don't know. Are we?
That's close.
It is.
don't know.
It is because they're both not like elite passers like that.
Yeah, they're both good 6.5 out of 10.
But I feel like Kevin Durant, for his career, it hasn't been great, but it low key has been underrated. Like he can do some things.
Yeah, it's developed.
It's not a weak.
It's developed for sure.
necessarily.
He can do.
It's kind of like his defense where it got a lot better just late in his career.
Okay.
Let's go KD
Wait,
on
let's
passing.
give Kevin Durant the respect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's give KD the respect for passing. He's had a really good passing year.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch. Who are we going with?
This is not a question. This is Kevin Durant.
Damn, should not going Jayson Tatum.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not to say Jayson Tatum isn't like a choker, but he certainly doesn't have the most playoff moments outside of that one spinning layup to finish the game.
If Jayson Tatum was actually clutch, the Celtics, we would feel good about picking the Celtics to win the finals.
Fact, we wouldn't be thinking at all about no Nikola Jokic. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, nah. Jason
All right, there we
Tatum's
go.
gonna be texting Kobe a little bit longer, bro, for him to be clutch. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen though.
No, it's not. All right, we got clutch, passing, finish, and shooting go to Kevin Durant, and then finishing and defense go to Jayson Tatum. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Next player, we got Anthony Edwards versus Donovan Mitchell.
Off the bat, and Donovan Mitchell's the better shooter for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Listen,
flamethrower.
Anthony Edwards is getting
passer.
better. D. Mitch is an elite shooter.
D. Mitch is a better passer.
That one's easy.
Yeah, for sure.
Finishing, listen. I know we love Anthony Edwards' dunks. D. Mitch is not a bad finisher himself.
I'm a very underrated finisher.
Also ridiculously athletic.
This is hard.
Guys, Anthony Edwards dunked the guy into an injury. He has finished. we should give him finishing.
But
Yeah,
Donovan
just
Mitchell
off the
gets his
dunks
fair
alone,
share
that's
of
fine.
posterizers alone, though.
I actually can't remember any. I'm trying to think. I feel like I remember seeing him do it, but I can't remember on who.
I think he did it to someone on the Nets recently.
And
Yeah.
don't care.
Okay.
Don't care. Take it.
All
Anthony
right,
Edwards.
whatever. Finishing Anthony Edwards. Let's do it. Whatever.
Okay. We respect Mr. Dunkman. I get it.
Defense.
Defense. Ant
Anthony
has
Edwards.
really improved this year. Gotta be him.
Anthony Edwards. For sure.
Easily.
I think D. Mitch's defense is overblown as a huge weakness, but Ant has been legitimately really good defensively.
Yeah.
Where do we go with clutch? If you asked me 2 years ago, I would have been like D. Mitch is a demon in the playoffs. A couple years in a row of the demon staying at home.
Exactly. But
It's been more of a fairy lately.
Has Ant had those moments, though?
kind
You know,
of.
I mean, earlier in the season, way earlier, at the start of the season, he fucking looked Jayson Tatum in the eyes and snatched the home game away from him.
But that was in November.
And we hold on to
Yeah.
that one game so tightly. Like
Yeah.
that made his whole season.
We might have to lean D-Mitch. He did it when the lights were the brightest. He was going band for band with Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Okay.
But that was also 4 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. That was 4 years ago.
We can go D. Mitch, but I feel safe assuming Anthony Edwards is on the same level. Of
Who's
clutch.
hit a game
Okay.
winner more recently? Whoever, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but who's ever hit one more recently, they have the clutch gene.
Listen, if I needed them to take the last shot of the game, I'm going D. Mitch. The shooting makes a difference.
I agree. D-Mitch, you clutch, boy.
All right, next up. Luka Doncic versus Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Top 2 point guards in the league.
Dang.
This is
Listen,
hilarious.
We don't have to do Shea like
Finishing?
this, though. We don't have to do Shea like this.
Finishing, you would want to go Shai because that's his thing. But Luka shoots like 75% of the rim. He's kind of
I'm
ridiculous.
It looks prettier when Shea does it, but bro, Luka's the answer. He's just way
Luka shoots
bigger.
just as good as LeBron James at his prime at the rim. It's got to be Luka.
Why
It's
do we
Luka
set
easily,
Shea
bro.
up like this, man?
But yeah, bro, it's funny. Shooting has to go to Luka too. It's kind of nasty. Like it's already a check off. Finishing already. Luka, we talked about that. Passing, Luka might be one of the best passers we've ever seen in basketball history.
Yeah, this
Easily
is
into-
Atomic Bomb versus Coughing Baby.
Yeah,
Listen,
But defense, hey, Shai gets defense. Give him that.
by a landslide for sure.
y'all
He smokes the defense category.
y'all set me up to hate on black men. I'm not doing it today. I'm not doing it. Shea, I stand with you. We're not doing this today.
So, no more comparison.
Shea ain't do nothing. He's been pretty clutch throughout his NBA career for sure.
Listen, I've seen Luka stare some people in their eyes and rip their throats out in the playoff setting. He didn't win the games, but he hit big shots.
That is true. All right, let's go Luka for clutch. Damn, this looks so bad.
All right, next up.
I see where I stand.
This is for Stephen A. Smith's ass trying to convince me that Luke SGA is the MVP.
You have to go.
Right, next
Listen,
up.
you have to go there to make points. It worked for Kendrick Perkins. It worked for Stephen A.
Next up, we got John Morant versus Jalen Brunson.
Shooting, Jalen Brunson.
Easily.
Finishing, I'll give Ja that. Ja
Easily.
got that.
Oh, you said like
sure.
you'll go gift it to him like it's not a fucking blowout.
Ja don't know how to pivot
that-
off of 2 feet. What?
Oh my God.
He doesn't know the
knows how to fly in
fundamentals
the air.
of inside the paint
John
work
can jump over 2 Jalen Brunsons.
and miss
Exactly.
the dunk. Not doing this.
Passing, Ja
It has to go
Ja
Ja.
definitely gets it, but it's not a huge margin. Jalen's definitely improved.
He's improved for sure, but it goes
But
to
still
Ja.
Ja.
Yeah, handle.
Yeah. The way Ja knows how to use his finishing to pass out to shooters is next level.
What do we want to do with defense?
Oh man, this is Coughing Baby versus Coughing Baby. This is terrible.
It's kind of a wash.
No, I think probably Ja. Jalen sucks defensively. I think he'll be the first one to tell you.
I mean, the only reason why we say Ja is because he could fucking send some shit to the moon once in a while.
Exactly.
You're
That's
gonna
the
get
difference.
pinned
That's the
Once
difference.
in a while. Yeah.
Neither
okay.
one of them are defending the best player by any means. At least Ja can make some plays with his fucking verticality.
Yeah. Now we're at clutch. This is tough right here. Because Jalen
No, it
Brunson
is not.
gonna
Jalen
burn.
Brunson is clutch. This is not tough to me. Jalen Brunson for sure earns a spot.
You don't think Ja's clutch?
Ja's
clutch.
He is clutch. But it's the same thing as with D Mitch and Anthony Edwards, where if somebody has to make a shot, I'm going with Jalen Brunson.
The Knicks are good this year off the back of Jalen Brunson carrying them in late game situations and being clutch. Ja can do it, but the Knicks only succeed if Jalen does it, and he does it time in and time out.
Talk to him.
Damn, Ja.
Simple.
I tried to fight for you. I agree, though.
We respect Jalen Brunson over here.
I agree.
All right, next matchup. We got Victor Wembanyama versus Domantas Sabonis.
It's finna be the fastest
Shooting, where do we go?
fastest shit ever.
Oh no, who is it? Wembanyama. Finishing. Easy. Oh no, where do we go?
Wembanyama.
Wemby. Passing. Okay. Sabonis gets passing.
Don't care. Overrated. Sure. Wemby. Defense. Wemby. Clutch. Wemby.
DHO merchant. So defense is obviously Wemby. We'll give passing to Sabonis. Clutch. Listen, Sabonis went into Denver and ripped the 1 seed out of the Nuggets' hands.
You mean Wemby?
Might be clutch.
Yeah.
Oh, did I say Sabonis?
Yeah.
Shit. Listen, end of the season, Sabonis. I keep saying Sabonis. End of the season, Wemby marched into Denver and stole the 1 seed out of the Nuggets' hands. Now, listen, he didn't steal it for his team because his team sucks, but he made sure they didn't get it. That was pretty clutch.
I'm giving it to Wemby. Listen, Sabonis is not the one with the ball in his hands at the end of the game. That is De'Aaron Fox.
Who was very clutch.
Sabonis was one of them ones who literally put an end to the Warriors dynasty.
That was Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray.
You don't want to do anything but give Sabonis credit.
Sabonis did fine, but Keegan Murray ripped Klay Thompson's heart out. It was brutal.
This is Wemby. So,
right,
listen, Sabonis, you can go ahead, right? You can make your little DHOs, your 0.5 foot passes. Go ahead, make them.
Oh, your little bounce passes.
Go ahead.
All right, next up. Tyrese Halliburton versus Zion Williamson.
All right.
This is hilarious, bro.
Shooting
is clear as cut. Tyrese by a landslide.
Finishing by a landslide.
Zion Williamson.
Exactly.
Yep.
Passing by a landslide.
By a landslide. Tyrese Halliburton. Defense by a mild mudslide. Zion Williamson.
Exactly. Yeah. Clutch.
Not quite a landslide either way. We're not talking about necessarily a great defender over here.
Yeah.
Clutch. I'm going to go Tyrese.
Have to go Tyrese.
I mean, listen, if we were going November Tyrese, sure, when he had his crazy run. As of late, I don't know.
Zion was pretty clutch though in that playing game.
I get it, but that's recency bias though.
Yeah.
What's Tyrese's? Tyrese's bias? Nostalgia bias?
Tyrese has several late game shots.
Okay. It's hard because it's a step back 3 merchant versus a rim running merchant. Neither one are super diverse in a late game scenario.
This is tough, man.
But if I'm down 2, I can get a step back 3 and go for the win, right? If I'm down 3, step back 3, tie the game. You can't get a step back dunk. So I'm going to go with Tyrese.
Step back dunk.
And I'm going to take him for clutch.
Fucking
done. All right, Tyrese Halliburton, your clutch.
The math is mathing. It goes to Tyrese. You're right. Step back dunk.
Step back dunks, in fact, do not exist. I think you win this argument. It can't be done. And that is the end of this episode. If people are still here, what should they comment?
Comment. Yay area.
Yeah, I knew I was waiting to say that.
They're not gonna know how to spell that.
YAY area.
There
all caps.
Yeah, I put like a bunch of Y's at the end of yay.
I love that clip.
Exactly. Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
See y'all Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Streaming.
What Mo said.
Streaming. Let's go.
Thanks.
Woo.